you had one brief run-in with a... I'm sorry. You guys went through a cloud that was inhabited by a nest of mana worms, which are, as you guys kind of dealt with them, realized at first they're kind of naturally neutral creatures that are attracted to magic and feed on magic. And so with the limited magic items you guys, what you didn't stow away, they were drawn to after upsetting them by attacking one or two of them. It incited a little bit of a frenzy, after which you guys broke free to cannon fire from another pirate vessel who was using the cloud as a way to hijack and or destroy other ships. After fighting with them, you guys harpooned into the ship as it was a much smaller vessel. Were reeling it in to essentially raid it back yourselves to find out that there had been a delayed fireball cast on the inside amongst the gay
No, yeah.
oil.
Was it? I didn't know it was a held. That's weird.
Yeah.
A what?
Delayed fire bill.
The delayed fireball spell. Which
What was the trigger?
It's one of those trick fireballs.
Yeah.
timing? It could have been rounds, could have been on the person's call. Whatever the case was, the ship exploded. You searched your ship for stowaways as you didn't see it. After checking the hull and the outside, you guys found nothing. With a mostly broken ship, much more difficult to navigate, you guys took the next couple days of journey slower, but peacefully as you encountered nothing that was out of the ordinary.
You sure you want to hand that over? It's got checks on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fortunately, Victor was able to fly out, rescue some of the crew, which means it's manageable to navigate. You guys have since
Possible.
gotten back into working order. The captain, having 2 of your magic items is kind of a refund as a thing towards this
Collateral.
deposit. Does say, kind of sparks a conversation with the group, just saying, I'll win one of these 2 days where, should our journey end here, for probably obvious reasons, I'm going to be cashing these in to help repair the ship.
Had nothing to do with the dark stuff, though.
I understand, but the deal was 40 gold and repairs and damages.
We want those if we gave her damage. You didn't ask. Wow. Just saying.
He says, however, you guys did help a lot. You did rescue some of the cruisemen that had flown aboard. So, should our journey not end here, maybe we can come to a further arrangement for the future. But
So I can cross off the antlered helm then?
not necessarily yet. It's still in his possession. I wouldn't, just in case. Right now, it's not in your possession. But I'm sorry. He's saying that you guys might be able to come to some other agreement.
What else did he take? We had the alien helm or something else.
Yeah, there was the second item.
I think it's something Phil offered, but I don't remember what it was.
He has my I own some of reserve.
Yeah.
So
He says, however, as you guys, as you guys see, and here's what the Citadel of Ice and Steel looks like for you all.
beautiful place.
Yeah. Temperature.
That's where we're going?
Yeah, this is where you are now flying into. Is the Citadel of Ice and Steel.
Who's humping the table?
Okay.
Not me. I'm just humping your leg. Like a good dog.
So, as you guys begin to kind of fly into there, he does say, as it is in range, several miles out, he calls all crew to the top deck to prepare for docking and inevitable explanation. He says, you guys are looking for advice from the Great Caliph. From what I understand, he does live in the center of Fortress. He is the ruler of this, so getting counsel with him may be difficult. But we'll leave you to that. We'll remain docked for a while. I'll have... sorry, let me turn my page. he says, I'll have Irva reach out to you when we are preparing to board. Once the ship is ready, should you guys wish to set off again, we can make arrangements. If we go our separate ways, I would likewise appreciate if one of you could message us to let us know. These repairs seem pretty bad, but the ship still has flight, so we'll just be making arrangements and restoring the hull, and we should be ready to go in a few days. It says, from what I understand, the Great Khalif has pretty large parties in the Hall of Welcome. Should you find your way there, should you find entrance to it, can't really tell you what else to expect, as we've never been inside the fortress itself, inside the citadel itself. As you guys are kind of closing in on this large fortress, is there anything you guys have left to say or do with Will?
They're gonna wait there for us, or what?
They have to repair the
They're
ship.
gonna reach out to us when they're gonna leave.
When the ship is ready to sail, and then if you guys can renegotiate a new contract for any further sales, or you can go your separate ways.
Kill them and take their boat.
You are a paladin.
And
Turn it over and
our
leave.
helm back.
So while we're here, are they holding on those items, or is that
Yeah.
what the
Yeah,
thing was?
they're
Yeah,
holding
well,
on.
they're-
As of right now, if you don't make a second thing, he's keeping them to trade them in for the hull.
all right, that's fair.
He can take those items.
I can always
Would
sneak
that
back.
They're
Stone-
probably worth more
the
than.
stone-
I'm not
been with
saying
me
it's in
forever.
front of him, but I can
The
always
stone's
sneak
been
back
with me
and
since
get it.
before Ladry's town got destroyed.
Hmm?
So that stone's been with me since before Ladry's town got
It's
destroyed.
got some. Hey, you put in his
Some
collateral.
nostalgia there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's loud enough from here, but
I mean, I'll probably never use it again, but
I'm gonna. I'm actually. I'm just gonna.
all right.
We'll see how this goes. Probably gonna get killed, you guys.
Wait, what is he doing?
In the right moment, I might try to get our stuff back.
Oh my god.
If we don't plan on going with them
Get
again.
a
I
little
think
extra for the.
It's a small place.
I would like leave a little bit of.
Get the
money.
keys to the ship.
His hand. That poppers the crystals.
Steal his ring off his finger.
Yeah.
I am proficient in sleight of hand now, so it's even worse.
Yeah. So,
Anyway,
you guys.
let's go to the thing. Yeah.
As you guys begin to fly down, you see a number of large winged birds with eagle heads. If you guys have seen before, these hippogriffs circling the tower itself, all with various.
We established I cannot
Humanoid
turn
and
into one,
Correct. It's a monstrosity.
but I can turn into the bird of nature, which we're not calling the hippogriff.
Correct.
Checkmate.
Yes. Hippogriffs are now natural creatures. Or beasts.
Awesome.
So, as you guys begin to descend in, you see this. You see a number of other, essentially flying creatures of all sort. However, numbering anything 10 to 1, you see. Actually, let's do this. Give me perception checks for the sake of
Rolling the die
entering the
tonight.
city.
Perception checks.
Yep.
Do I
It
get
is.
Do we get it at advantage?
Nope.
Varys isn't really paying attention.
23.
What'd you get?
I haven't yet.
Oh.
19.
30.
I do this every time.
You do
Never
those
have my
once in a
dice.
while in a game.
Huh?
You do those once in a while in D&D.
It's a 19.
Okay. As you guys fly in, you notice a lot of Jinn presence. A lot. This entire city itself is Jinn. What aren't Jinn are the creatures that are riding the hippogriffs, and there are some infantry that seem to be patrolling the streets as you guys are slowly kind of coming in for docking. I'll say with at least one of you having a really high perception, you notice that almost everything is in formation of some sort. This entire fortress itself seems to be military run, military ordered, and everything. And even as you're kind of now beginning to dock at this area, you're being flanked by 4 flying Jin who are just kind of by your ship as it's traveling much slower now at this point as you're settling in for docking. As you guys go, these 4 entities, all armored in various, as they are the Myrmidons, very similar. They share different shapes, and it's kind of constantly moving. Their armors are all a dark blue versus the ones you had seen in Calypso, were just made up of various
So
metals.
they're like in a uniform.
But these appear to be very uniformed. What's that?
Can I have reattuned to my shadow cloaking
Yeah.
ring?
Absolutely. Yeah, you had days to do
That's
this.
I know. I actually did that same day.
That's fine. As you guys dock, the 4 of these figures kind of fly in, everyone at the top, landing 2 up by the captain, and then 2 on the main deck. The one.
They landed on the ship. I thought we had got off the ship.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
we were
You
flying
guys are
down.
docking into the docking onto one of these large pedestals that exist throughout the
Gotcha.
docking. And
Too many item tags.
as you fly in, he says, he turns to the captain, who kind of like steps forward amongst the group to Will and says, "What's your business at the Citadel of Ice and Steel?" He says, "Well, as you see, our ship ran collision with some land masses on the way. It was difficult to navigate. Sustained heavy damage to the hull. We're looking for repairs and then to be on our way." He kind of looks over. He says, "Okay, may we see your manifest?" The captain pulls out a book, begins to kind of thumb through it, and then shows registry of all 12 of the people that are aboard the ship. It says, "All right, 12 are docking today. Repair of the hull. Upon completion, you'll be setting sail." Wilson says, "Okay, sounds good." He says, "You'll seek accommodation in the lower city. We can send up for repairs." He says, the captain, or Will says, we have some friends in the city that we would like to have work on the ship, if you don't mind." And then he says, "Very well. Ensure that it's started in the next day, or you'll be found and asked to leave, or worse, jailed," I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Says, "Okay." The 4 figures then begin to drift off. Will goes down bottom deck, kind of gathers up a large satchel on his back, looks to Irva, says, "All right, well, you know the drill. Mind the ship, and we'll see you in a few days." At this point, they begin to he looks to you and says, "Hopefully find what you're all looking for, and best of luck in the rest of your journey, should we not meet again." He turns to Victor specifically, and thanks again for saving the crew.
Si, senor.
We'll definitely be a little stronger in numbers should we come back. I think it would do us best if we can pick up some drifters here. But again, Teddy looks back over everyone once more and says, "Take care," and he begins to exit the ship. In tow of the crew, there's a nod from the people that you had rescued as another thank you, as they begin to exit as well into the city, leaving right now just Irva, kind of, and you guys are all kind of like being watched and escorted by now deckhands that are now helping unload the ship a little bit of some of the larger objects that need to be searched. 2 more of the air elemental creatures have flown up and nearby and are kind of standing poised and guard, watching over the ship, while Irva is just sitting right over like here, as you guys are all preparing to exit.
I give her a nod as I walk by.
All right, so you all exit off the ship
Tip of the hat.
into the city.
I said a tip of the hat.
What do you guys want to do? What is the plan? You descend this large spiral staircase of a thing. Again, the internal of this is just completely open. It has you get a glimpse, and none of the Jinn have feet or legs. Every entity here is flying of some sort. Coming down on this first, you see there's one exit. You're pretty much literally right here for the sake of it. There's a lower city, and you guys have the exit either to here, or you could continue down all the way into the lower city.
We have no idea where we're heading.
No,
We're trying
don't
to
we?
get to the big place.
Yeah, don't we want to go to the main hall? Is that where the party?
If you're going straight to them, the hall of welcome would be. This is the fortress. This is the Citadel Fortress where the Great Caliph resides.
Maybe we should go to the guys that they're trying to meet up with and see if they can give us a little bit more insider information on things that go down.
How are we? What were the other people trying to do? Why do we want to come here again?
Well, the other people now are looking for their friends to help them repair the ship.
No, not them, but more in the other place.
They had the gnomes that we didn't
Yeah,
go with. They
yeah.
just had a package to drop off.
I'm gonna roll for my HP.
They had a person to drop off.
An 8.
Oh, a person. I didn't know they had a
Nice.
person. I thought they had a package.
No, it was a person. They were asking for a person.
Oh, that.
Is this considered like a city? Can I use my underling thing to navigate better?
I'm gonna say it is not really a city. It is a fortress. It is like every single person and around that you've seen so far is coming down thus far. You have yet to see anyone that isn't in some sort of uniform or whatever. And even then, you've been told to reside in the lower city. So if you guys are going to the lower city, perhaps.
Yeah, I think we should go to the lower city for now.
Well, we're trying to ask him about the Elder Dragon thing.
Yeah.
Elder
Elder
Tempest.
But I'm saying we can't just walk up to the Great Hall not knowing anything about how this place works and then try and seek. I'm saying we might want to just go down there, talk to some locals, get a little bit more info.
So in my head, the Great Caliph is just Aladdin's genie.
Yeah, it's Robin Williams.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
okay.
That would be great.
It's 100%. I mean, it fits the
It'll never
description.
not
He's
be too
eccentric.
soon.
He's crazy.
I get sad every
He's
time I think
he's,
about it.
he's big and blue.
Was he big and blue? Is that what we were told? Shit.
All the Jinn are very. They have a very like.
I'm imagining a pink or blue, that's like...
Most of which do come equipped in various turbine things. They almost have a very desert-like appeal to their clothing style and the way they function. And even now in their city stands, like even in Calypso, there's like sand stalls, things like that, due to the wind nature of the deserts. There's not as much heat here; it's just the wind. So, that's the adopted culture, I guess, is what you're looking at.
Gotcha.
So what's the plan? Are you heading there, or heading towards the lower city?
I think we should head towards the lower city. That's my take on it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we got to figure out what's going on, right?
Okay. Are you guys? So you guys are kind of you up at the same time. You see as Will is now. As you're gonna continue to head down this large open spiral staircase. You see Will as he kind of steps in tow to the bottom. His crew behind him, exiting out of and onto the streets. You guys continue down as well. You see as he's kind of a little bit further ahead, walking to what is now Rustling City. Again, constant patrols of a dozen plus. At any given time, as you guys kind of enter this lower city area, you see 20 to 30 Jinn at any given point in time that are seemingly flying, patrolling, or heading about their business due to just
Granting
living.
wishes, Wait, can they do that?
I don't know.
If they're powerful.
Can they? You do see now, though, for the first time, some travelers, some of those gnomes walking around, drifting kind of down there, touching ground, and then kind of leaping and just hovering for a while. You have
All the gnomes that skip like
Just
Other
let us know if we
humans,
see Bulbous.
walking to and from the
bulbous
streets.
twinkle twat.
Other large airships that are docked in various places, none of which, kind of in the, I guess more in the distance you would see them. But again, mostly just flying creatures throughout.
I imagine we could. Well, if we're walking along with Will, I'll ask him. So, do you have friends that live on this?
Are you catching up to him?
Yeah.
'Cause you guys were behind him.
Yeah, I'll catch up to him.
I didn't know if you guys were trying to follow him or not.
Well, I don't know, guys. Do you want to do that, or you just want to go to a bar? Try and get some. info?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of know this guy, so just maybe see what he would do.
Okay, then yeah. I guess I would catch up to him before he got too far.
He really likes Victor too, so
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys catch up to Will as he kind of looks over his shoulder at your quickened pace. He slows, the whole group slows and turns. Says, "Is there something you guys forgot or something we can help you with?"
Yeah, perhaps you could help us with. Seeing as we've never actually been here, You guys said you have friends down here, or do you happen to know maybe someplace we could go find a little more info before we run into the Great Hall up there?
This is, I mean, like most places, I would suggest a tavern, but given how organized it is, seldomly do people without cause get allowed up there. So I don't know how much information you'll find down here in the lower city. We could pry around a little if you'd like.
And what would be some reasons that people go up there? I mean, what is done in this place or what?
He says, well, this is a stronghold for the Jinn. There's some sort of discrepancies between other entities that live on the plane of air. This acts as the main stronghold and the origins of the first Jinn, the Great Khalif.
And they wouldn't care anything about anything we have going on in our whatever, right? Like,
They wouldn't really care about our realm. That wouldn't be probably something to bring up.
So unfortunately, yeah, he's like, I'm not sure what if you find a way to barter with them, perhaps you guys could be exchange of services for something, but I would definitely, if you plan to walk around up there, give purpose and destination for what you're going and what you're trying to achieve, because you're definitely going to be watched, and it's not a place I would necessarily try and pull a fast one. The whole thing's just a giant
What are we
military
trying to
state.
achieve?
I'm trying to get into the Great Hall. I got an idea.
To talk to somebody or to do something?
We want to see the Great Khalif. We said our goal was to get as much information on the Elder Tempest, which the Jinn, especially the Great Khalif, has believed to have been around since the Elder Tempest kind of created this plane. So he would definitely be someone who would be able to tell us a bit more on, like, maybe not necessarily where to find them since everything's just kind of floating around up here.
I was going to give him a gift or something to, like...
He might be able to tell us how better to find out which cloud.
Glad
is
you
the
remembered
Elder
that.
So we just, like, say when we're up there, we have an offering for the Great Khalif.
So I had
Will
an
does
idea.
even Will say as well. He says, I mean, a gift could be given to him. I would have, again, if you're seeking to talk to him, definitely have more reason than just a gift. Gifts don't have to be given in person.
Yeah.
That could
This
just
one.
be, that could just be tribute. They might not let you. Says there's been unease between them. He says.
Unease.
He's trying to think of it to help give you guys a reason that might allow you to go see him. He's not. No, that's it. Just
I say,
if
well,
you guys have purpose, if you know of an oncoming assault, if you have information about some plane damming thing that's occurring, I know you said you have your issues, but they gotta matter to him for it to matter.
So I guess it's
Do you
related
think
to
the
the sister planes.
For reason enough, if you're honest as well, if you try and reach out just for the sheer fact of finding the Elder Tempest, maybe that would be enough to amuse him. I'm not. He's been said to be very eccentric, and perhaps he'd be willing to hear out some
Honesty.
bold adventurers.
We ever tried that?
No.
He says
All
it's
right.
not to my taking normally either, but in a place like
Do you
this, it
happen to
almost
know
seems
any-
silly to try and lie.
do you ever know any of the more happening taverns around here? Then?
Tavern says, well, we are looking to meet up with some old companions and get the ship constructed for less than those militants would have. He says,
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for less of a hole in the wall and more of a popular spot.
well, the genies unfortunately don't need to really eat or drink to survive. They do for the spirit of celebration, and any of them that would take place in the Great Hall. He says, if you find your way into the Great Hall, perhaps you could find more information there. These lower city taverns, you're going to find stuff about, I don't know, other happenings in the plane of air, things that are going on. I wouldn't even say asking piracy wouldn't be good here. This city's about as far from Calypso as it gets.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you. That's definitely helpful. And I think
You guys are kind of, yes, you're stopped in the middle of the street now, and you do see as you kind of look around, having this conversation mostly hushed, there are eyes on you. A hippogriff does fly above head with a rider with like one of those long, like black tussled ponies out the back.
I mean, I guess we'll stroll along here, but we're probably gonna jump into, a popular tavern we see along the way.
Okay. As you fly around this lower city, it's still very well put together. You see this like glimmering ice that seems to, even though it's a comfortable, it's like comfortable, like it's like 40s, 50s, but it still maintains this very like crystal clear ice into steel, where it shifts and kind of like the structures and everything is built out of this. He's as you guys are kind of looking around all the city, he says, "Well, this is technically speaking the Mistral Reach, which is where the elemental plane of air meets the elemental plane of water. There's a subplane that exists between the two, the plane of ice. As the elemental planes are kind of circular in how they connect and where the various connection and portals exist, we have areas like this. So it's kind of one of the ways that you navigate here is by following the temperature, but again, that's very difficult to do, and that's why we have Urva." Says, as you guys keep going, they continue to walk. You guys do pass a tavern. As I lose my names. Just with the name would be Elwyn.
The tavern is Elvin.
Yeah, Elwyn.
Arwen?
Nope.
Are you sure now?
All right, I'll kind of slow down our group. Not necessarily going in the tavern yet, but do you guys have any better ideas on how to get in there? I had one that was maybe I could try playing at a tavern or two and getting some like telling some tales of our adventure group and stuff to get us maybe some.
Yeah.
Did you guys? Did Will? Will was kind of going to continue to walk forward.
Yeah, I assume so.
Okay.
I said I'm gonna slow down with the group
Okay.
here. I mean that way maybe then we could just go up there and be like, one, maybe I could play, or two, he'd say, hey, we're the adventurers. You might have heard of us, and we're looking to talk to him about seeking the.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably our cleanest way to get up there, most honest way. And then if that doesn't work, then
Then we
we'll
do
resort
something else.
to plan B.
But then it also just tells everybody who the hell we are. I guess that's why I was asking before I started doing that.
Although I don't suppose they'll know anything about what we're talking about, right? I mean, they live in here like...
Yeah, but I mean, I could still tell tales that make us seem like strong adventurers.
I mean, I'm down. I like it.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Not a city
Then,
dweller.
I mean, do you guys want to find a bigger tavern, or do you just want to hop in this one and see what it's like?
I mean,
I
is
feel
this
like-
the
I feel like if we
nicest
go-
one?
I feel like we
This
should
is the
just
first
walk,
one you guys have come
walk in
across.
and walk out of tavern. So we should either like sit down and have a drink or do something.
I don't think we usually do. Usually stick to one place.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's what I'm asking. Do we just go on this place since the first one, or do we look around for maybe a bigger one or something?
So the biggest bar,
That's what I was thinking at first.
most people,
You know.
biggest opportunity.
All right, do you guys
Biggest
want to
chance, yeah.
split up then and then get on the stones if you guys find a big one?
Sure.
We'll use Elwyn's for scale.
Okay. So you guys are splitting up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Investigation checks from each person.
Also, I'm fast.
Yep.
Also, have
That's a pretty good
crazy investigation.
That's a
30.
19.
Found the biggest bar that this
15.
place has to offer.
21.
19.
30, 19, 21,
15.
15. Okay. We'll say as you guys split up, you guys do not pass many taverns. You pass small little housing units for the most part that seem to house whoever's down here. You go past what appears to be some sort of under very heavy watch, lock and key, a lumber yard, as well as a just materials yards and stuff that are being
Because
Which
materials
is-
are hard to find around here.
correct, which is a large chunk of it. you don't see a ton of, again, everything is very nice in its nature, but you really do not see many taverns. You pass by 2 taverns collectively. We'll say, Jammin, you pass by one called the Grindle Hall.
I like the name of it.
Which, as you poke your head in, and as you guys poke, did you guys poke your head in the Elwyn as well? Oh yeah, you did. So as you poke in the Elwyn, there's maybe like 4 or 5 people in there at a given time. As you guys poke your head in, continue to look. The Grindle Hall maybe has double that, about a dozen people, and again, none of them are Jin. They are all just kind of either down on their luck and stuck here because they don't have a way to get out of here, or there's a small group of people who are maybe waiting for their ship or waiting for something, and it's about Trogo. You find a one called the Royal Perrin. Going in there, same thing. You find maybe 15, 16 people, most of which are groups of people, and looking in, as you kind of have caught up now at this point, and gotten there first, as you kind of poke your head in and come back out, you see as Will and the group of his air crew is heading towards that place and has actually begun to enter into the Royal Perrin.
Wow. Okay. Cool. So I'll pass that information along on the sending.
You guys are at this point past 500 feet from each other.
I'll go in.
Huh?
I'll go in.
You're going in. All right. Well, as the 3 of you guys are kind of all split up, what was your plan of finding each other again?
I mean, I know this is kind of big, but I figured we'd fly around. If you find something, like other people would keep flying in the circle, and then you just send them.
You guys are well past 500 feet from each other.
Yeah, but you just keep going till you hit a tavern. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So it's like a city in itself, even on the lower level. So I imagine people went in
Oh, different directions. Sorry, the way it looked, I thought it was like.
It is, but each portion of it is still very large. This place is not small by any means.
Did we hit? I assume, I don't know. Maybe we meet back up at Elwyn or a center of the city. Probably make more sense to go back to the center of the city.
Right. Yeah, where we were. I mean.
Okay.
Oh, where we were. Yeah, we'll.
So you guys scout out for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we'll say. Give a good look around. I will say because you're just walking, we'll say about an hour.
I got my room.
So about an hour, you guys kind of are flying through, watching, doing whatever it takes. You guys, after the case, meet back up together. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, no issues. As you fly, you guys are being, you see, like it's just constantly trained eyes, constant people watching, constant vigilant. None of you that I'm thinking are doing anything that are suspicious or wrong. You do see as you're flying, though, as you get close to there, you are asked to lower your level as to it. You do see the whole thing is domed with ice, though it is clear and you're able to see through it. You are still asked to lower your level.
Gotcha.
Lower your what?
Flying level.
Okay.
And you are just, again, and it is fortress status. There's at least 100, 150 Jin just in that one location guarding it. Not operating in, you do see some on the inside moving throughout, carrying things. They seem to be crafting something on the inside of it as well. Off to like where the storage is, there's a next door. It seems to be some sort of larger, it's not a ship, right? They're not building ships there, but it's kind of, you can't really get a good view of what they're building. You just hear the sounds of construction.
Mm-hmm.
You guys meet back up after an hour?
Yeah. So I found only one other tavern here, and it only had like 10 people in it. So I don't think we're gonna get really the spread of word through that.
So we got 15.
So
It's this way.
so then, do we want to focus on another plan of attack, or?
I think.
I mean, we covered a pretty good area.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we just may not have any options, or just figure
But
out.
we
which
could just
one.
go straight there. Maybe I could ask to play at the Great Hall. You know, if they're having parties up there,
You better roll good.
I'll do what I can.
I'm not sold that this is gonna be like the most, like the greatest benefit for us in the long run. Like we might get something. Maybe we get lucky and we get exactly what we need. But we already kind of know what we have to do. We just kind of like fly around, till we find the thing. There's no like specific way to get to it. So
To find what thing?
the Elder Tempest.
Isn't the issue not finding it, but getting into it?
There's a lot of things. It's a giant storm cloud that is constantly attacking whatever's nearby it. But there's also a lot of those clouds that exist up here, so it's not like one, it's gonna be hard to find. Two, it's gonna be hard
Yeah,
to distinguish without literally flying into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, get as much information as you can, but I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean,
let's just ask. Let's just hey.
yeah, no, I'm saying I just wanted to see if there was a bar with a bunch of people. I could like get our names out there, and then we could go up. It would just give us maybe some more. You know.
This is my suggestion for the change that you just requested.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, let's just ask, and if we don't get in, we don't get in, and we keep going, because you know that's pretty much where we're at as far as I can see.
Gotcha. All right, then yeah, we're gonna go up to the Great Hall.
Okay. All right. You guys find the next column that has an ascent in it. Inside this one, which is one of the much larger ones than the one that you docked, the larger one than you docked at, with a much larger dock, kind of a highway that's above it. The inside has a platform that raises and lowers with air pressure inside of it. You see as it goes, it kind of like shifts into a larger spot and passes another platform before it continues on its way up, and the other is going down. Reaching the second level, you guys step forth immediately. Forward figures kind of come. You watch as spears in hands, others trained with above with archers, say, what is your business on the Lord's Terrace?
Sorry, new here. We were trying to make our way towards the Great Hall. We heard that there could be festivities going on, and we would perhaps try to gain counsel or at least a word with the Great Caliph.
He says, there is a great summoning occurring now, but you are not of Jinn blood. What business do you have with the Great Caliph?
We are the great adventurers, the Storm Slayers from, what do they call our plane?
Material.
Prime material.
From the Prime Material plane. And we have just come seeking information from the Great Caliph. We also bring a couple gifts, and if I don't, like I said, I heard there's festivities. I am a excellent musician, and I would also, play if he requested.
Make a persuasion check.
Do I get advantage on persuasion checks or no?
No, it's just a straight roll.
Okay, well then that was
Kevin cast guidance on him.
that was
You do get your. Yeah, that's instantaneous.
I'll use my point.
Right?
I'll use my point of
So
luck.
and you also can do Bardic Inspiration.
And then I will use my Bardic Inspiration, which is now a D12.
Might have found my chair. I didn't realize there was a Staples in Munster right there.
Yeah, right there by Target.
So that'll be a
That's where you're
32.
gonna get your chair.
I bought
did
the
you get?
same chair
32.
like
Okay.
3 times. The exact same chair for like the last 90 years.
That's
They
just
haven't made
weird.
a more ergonomic chair.
That's it. That's the chair of the ages.
It's whatever. It's the most comfortable chair, and the most important thing is the arm. Number one, it's never broken on me, which is surprising because usually it ends because it breaks. But the arms flip up, and it's just convenient. The dogs, the kids, I flip the arm up, whatever. I don't know. It's just nice.
Nice.
And they've had it every time. I remember, I go to look for that chair, and they have it. It looks a little bit different, but it's got the flip up arms.
Hasn't gone off the market, so
How much is it?
Something, right?
$99, I think.
Oh, it's not bad. Yeah. All right. So he says, "May we see what you plan? What is your gift for the Caliph?"
Sure. I will pull out the amulet and the spell eating jar.
He gestures up to the Hittergast. He says, "Please," and he just kind of gestures down to it. Comes down. You see the same thing. It's cloaked. Just eyes kind of beating through the mask. You hear incantation. They're definitely magical. I can't tell you what they do off the hand. She comes closer. You hear other meditation as she kind of picks the item into her hand, begins to hold it for the next minute. Cassidy says, "Well, I do not see its practicality for the Great Caliph. It is a form of weapon, I suppose, but maybe of some use. says, well, bringing weapons in, you will be monitored, as you could imagine, as I can tell you are already armed as a group. He says, you say you're a performer, however.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been posted
Show
for
me your
some
dick.
time. Let's see how good of a performer you are.
All right. Rolling performance.
Should I do my interpretive dance behind you?
With advantage.
No.
You probably not.
No.
It's not good.
He would lose his
He
advantage.
gets
Oh
advantage
my
now
god, I've been
because
doing
of
this all with the
performance.
touchpad. I
His-
have a
his
mouse
thing
now.
He gets it for performance.
Ooh.
Point of bardic inspiration.
Good enough.
I'm actually seeing.
No, that's
Not-
pretty good.
Not
I got a
good
goal
enough.
I'm working at here, and I want to see if it'll work.
That'll be a 28.
28.
Oh,
you must have
boy.
rolled pretty low.
I did roll low. I used a point of bardic inspiration too, and I rolled a fucking 3 with it. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it good enough?
He says, well, I've seen better, but
Get the fuck out of here.
you,
Fucking 28.
with
So
your
I've got it.
gifts, he says, we'll take you to the Hall of Welcoming. He gestures down. More of the hippogriff riders begin to fly in. You see two now. There are roughly 6 on either side lining this path before it splits off. Figures with spears in hand. They have
What? No, why didn't it work?
kind of like the turban masks that cover to protect from wind. Coming down, so you see the slits of their eyes as you walk. The two closest kind of come into front of you, and then they begin to flank, and you are now kind of being shelled by a dozen of these figures around your group as you are now being escorted. And actually, from the one you came up, you kind of come up, you come around, you see these large, like floating but chained to the earth itself, kind of like houses and stuff, like mansions, but all of which are kind of elevated to various statutes. More of these winged, you see what looks to be like a squirrel kind of running on the ground,
Okay.
and then it kind of blows up like an air balloon with like an air sac inside of it, and as it kind of just drift through the air.
Gotcha.
And other sorts of like, what would you see normal creatures, again, adapting to this plane of air. You guys are led into the lower level as you see about 30, it's a huge steel slab in front of you for about 30 feet up before a large entrance room. As the group stops, they kind of gesture up with their spears and a kind of winded path of stairs, which you've actually seen
Winding?
long time. Winded, like wind stairs.
I thought he was talking funny.
No, like
Which
wind
we saw
stairs.
with
So
Zephyr.
But Zephyros had the same sort of thing to get onto his airship.
My buddy at work doing Storm King's Thunder just told me about their adventure with Zephyros
Oh,
this
nice.
past weekend.
You know where they ended up?
They ended up, the stone got broken and they're stranded in the sky. So they can get off or wait for a month or two for it to repair. Because
Okay.
apparently it can't fly anymore.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
glad we avoided that, y'all.
Yeah, remember they started attacking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I accidentally was like, oh, Imarith the I didn't say anything. It's Imarith, right? I think
Yeah.
that was Imarith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emerus the dragon, yeah.
So, oh,
That's
I
not
didn't
the
know
dragon
that.
that attacked, though.
Oh, it isn't? Oh.
No.
I thought.
It was a silver dragon that attacked.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah,
guys
I
thought
didn't
that
mention.
was
I
us.
almost blurted it out because I don't know if they knew. I don't know if it was obvious that it was Lord's Alliance people. But apparently
Yeah.
they were also attacked by some occultists too.
Yeah, you guys were.
Yeah, we were attacked by cultists.
Oh,
the
were we?
vulture people.
Yeah, they rolled the vulture.
Oh,
they
I'm
trying to
sorry. I
tame
don't
their
remember
birds?
a year and a half ago.
It's
They
like
try and
2
tame
years
their
now.
birds or
It's
what?
getting close to 2
How
years.
could you not remember such a?
How dare you?
I remember every single.
Yeah, well, you don't
detail.
remember
Every
either,
single
Rodney,
thing.
because
I
you
was
were
there.
here.
Trogo was on his own thing back then.
As
Trouble
these
was pre-Mirror Bar, or you were right at the end of Mirror Bar.
Whenever the tournament won.
Yeah, that's the last day of Mirror Bar. As the stairs kind of descend, you guys begin to walk up. Again, being guided by these figures, which seem to have legs. However, as they walk, it's like they have a very gentle step to them. They continue to walk up, and that immediately felt that. You're good. Do it.
I'm sorry.
No, just you're
I like
good.
it. hot.
I was thinking the same thing when
You
I
have a
opened it. I
fucking-
felt it on my feet.
Winter cap on and a sweatshirt.
I'm fine.
I thought you said you were hot.
I didn't
Oh,
say
sorry.
no.
Who
He
said
just
I'm hot?
He did.
Honey.
Oh.
They did.
I agreed. I just when you open, I felt it on my feet. It hit my
I
feet.
swear to God, Winter Cap said he's hot. Because I've been staring at him with Winter Hat saying, this is gonna be fucking hot with a hat.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. Okay, you guys enter, and as you enter into a large dining hall, just tables, and then tables floating through the air. Food is being passed around. As you guys look, there's like large chandeliers hanging down with just ever burning flames in them. Everything is made of just like platinum, gold, various steel elements of decoration throughout the whole thing. You see bowls of fruit and stuff being passed through the air, and just kind of drifts to and from locations. As you enter, the figures immediately head to the door, kind of inside of the door, and post up, spears all hitting simultaneously as their backs flex to the wall. Doors closing behind you. You are now left in the Great Hall. This extends for about, probably almost like a half of a mile inside this welcome hall, with just the same scene of just Jin flying to and from. You see some people just kind of sleeping off to the side. You see other ones that are kind of like flying or playing games on a table. There's a gentle like piano music kind of drifting through the air. Kind of hard to pinpoint the air or where it's coming from exactly, in just this massive scene of like tens of thousands of Jin just in this one room alone. And you guys just kind of very small walking into this entire scene.
Is it dim light?
No, I mean, no.
It's probably
It's pretty well lit.
Yeah.
There's windows and stuff that are kind of allowing some of like the natural light that occurs on the outside. Just due to the sheer volume of the room, there's burning stuff still towards the ceiling, but overall it's pretty well lit in this area. What are you guys doing?
They didn't give us any guidance. They just
No,
let us
so
in.
either way you can act. I mean, the guards kind of went in, posted on the side, and you guys are now left. Just
All the
kind of-
guards that were with us from down there.
the guards that guided you up, the dozen guards that flanked you the entire path.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Khalif up ahead?
Yeah, I'll ask
Go
one of the
ahead,
guards.
closest to yours is-
Hey, we're very grateful to be welcomed up here. Do you know how I would go about?
They say the Great Khalif is in council right now.
Okay.
He will be addressing the chamber in some time.
All right. So are we to mingle about, or I think I was also asked to
Says,
perform.
says there's an offering table at the head of the room. You can leave your offerings there. To speak to the Jin. Yeah, he just says that. He doesn't say anything.
Okay. What about performing? That was kind of mentioned for me to do. Should I wait for the Jinn or the Great Khalif, or should I?
He says, he looks at you, he says, clearly you all are new here. He says, a Great Hall is in an ever state of celebration. He says, you can play 2 and 4 whenever you want. He says, people often spend days, weeks, months here. Great Khalif comes about when he feels it is time.
Okay. Thank you.
Play your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And cue the It's Always Sunny music. The Storm Slayers go on a 3
Are there any like cute Jin girls
Oh, it's so funny.
that'll feed me fruit on a on a bed or something?
Make a perception check.
I'll go to the offering table and I'll leave our
Okay.
guests on there.
I think that's 28.
Alright. Looking out there, you do see Jim. You see most people are interacting with each other. No one seems to be paying you much of an eye, except for the armored Jin that are kind of flying and patrolling throughout this chamber as well. In here, you do see some that are much larger Jin than others. Smaller, various wind elementals and myrmidons flying throughout. You do see the occasional Iroquois, bird-like creature. Few humanoids that seem to be walking and be sitting mostly, obviously, on the ground. A few other that are kind of like sitting on a bench that's floating way up in the air, dressed in some wizard attire. You do have Looking on, you see many male and female Jin. You don't see anyone necessarily being fed grapes at the moment.
It's not like a great feeding station in this great.
I mean, you keep going down it. You got about a half mile.
Here's
to
an idea.
keep
Why
walking
don't you
if
be the
you want
great
to.
feeder and just get people to come by you?
Is there like a table where people are drinking? I'm just gonna go to the table and I'll pop down one of these bottles, fancy bottles of elf wine that I bought.
Okay. As you sit down at one
I'll
of the
offer a
tables, the table itself kind of like shimmers a little bit with the cloud material, and a mug forms in front of you. The wind then
that is
drifts
cool.
a bottle of wine down from like one of the like some sort of shelf or something on the wall. Where you see there's just kind of lined with like almost like a wine cellar where they're just kind of rusting. A bottle pops off, drifts down in front of you, uncorks, and begins to fill the bottle in front of you with it.
Well, okay.
I want this layer effect.
I'll never
Wow!
never
Yeah,
say no
this
to
is
that.
how I get my party to be off the chain. You know? Like,
So I'm gonna test something here. I'm gonna drink this as fast as I can. I don't know what kind of drink it. You said it's a wine.
Yeah,
So
it
I
appears
probably-
to come out
I
of wine.
probably do it pretty quickly.
to him, it's
And
just
I'll
grape
put it-
juice.
Put it back down, and what happens?
As the mug leaves your hand, the bottle is now tipped, and like before it comes down, the bottle is now already pouring more into the glass in front of you.
This is heaven!
yeah, until you get the bill.
He gets real excited.
I bet all the
That's
booze is
what
on
I-
the house,
that's what I'm
though.
doing
If
now.
it's just a state of constant party.
Kind of seeing this now, you even watching the Jin as you guys are now moving forward in the chamber to place your offerings, and you guys continue to look around this chamber. You see as Jin sit there to create food and beverage and things of that, you notice that the Jin just kind of apparate these things in their hands as they please. It's one of the things that Jins can do. They have the ability to innately create food and beverage. So
But they are made of wind, so they only eat wind, you know?
I don't know why. It is what
They
it
can
is.
make it, but they don't
do
need it.
consume. They do, like all elementals, they need to consume something. There is some sort of substance there. Jin is like that hybrid.
Okay.
They have,
So
but they
can,
don't
like,
need it.
Can people eat their food?
Yeah, they have the
Oh.
ability to create food and beverage. They can create whatever they want.
Awesome.
What per the spell, which I'm not going to read right now for the sake of
If
it.
I think that I'm hungry, will a plate appear in front
Yeah,
of me?
absolutely. And as you do, a plate does appear in front of you of whatever kind of food you like to be eating right now.
Grapes.
Grapes? They're in front of
Wine
you.
and grapes.
Grapes and wine.
As you make your way, kind of clear away from the group as they're kind of enjoying the lavish of this chamber, you find there's a large, what appears to be golden rimmed plate. Looks like a dinner plate raised onto a pedestal that is roughly about 60-foot radius. So just a massive dinner plate with just piles of gold and platinum. You see a few sets of armor. Adamantine shoulder pads. You see different weapons, spears, things, all clear offerings to
Us?
the Great
The
Khalif.
Jin.
You do
Yeah,
see
okay.
again, this area is as well, almost about every 10 feet or so, standing on the rim of this plate, to be one of the Mimrodon armored figures looking away from the plate itself.
I'll put our 2 items down on there.
Okay. And as you set the items down, a kind of gust of wind comes right, and you feel it like tips of your fingers, almost like painful in pain, like how quickly it came, and whisks the item towards the center of the plate. One of the Mimrodons looks down and she says, "Your offering has been noted."
And then I will look for wherever the piano music is coming from.
Make a perception check. Being mindful, this room is, like I said, about several thousand feet high by
I mean, can I see musicians? I guess 20. I got a 20.
20. Looking at them, you so far have not seen anyone actually playing the piano. Now, the piano is a very soft kind of behind-the-scenes thing. I'll say you do kind of figure, like, if you wanted to perform for people, you could find a group of people and do it. This music just seems to emulate throughout the chamber. Softly
Oh,
and
it's like
behind,
it's like
but-
the hospital's music, you know. That's always or is anywhere like that.
Like
Sure,
some
the
heavy
country
dose of
club has some.
saxophone. Great.
It's just for ambience more than to be listened to. But no, you don't see anyone currently playing music, actually.
Okay. In that case, I'll fly back over to where Trogo is.
Okay.
Have a drink.
I don't know how long he's been gone.
I'll have a
If
drink.
it's been more than 20 minutes, I'm drunk.
You're drunk.
Yeah. I'll have a drink and then I'll start performing in that area.
Okay. Make a performance check, and then
You guys gotta listen to this. This guy, he can play.
what is your guys'
Jeez.
what are you guys doing in this time while you guys are
Kind of whooping up the crowd a little bit.
okay?
Listening.
Whoop!
Catching people. Hey, man,
Sitting
this guy.
druid hermit-like at the table.
Okay.
You know.
27.
27.
Yeah.
How long are you playing for?
You can get
6 inches.
I'll play.
automatically.
I'll basically play like a song at a time, like 3 to 5 minutes, and then like maybe have a drink, and then play another.
At first, as it's just you, the people around you, you perform well. Some people stop and pay mind and are watching. Most people around seem to be taking it more as just entertaining towards the area itself. You do have a few people that are starting to listen to your first few songs. Are you going to continue? Say for about the first 10
Yeah.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another roll.
Oh yeah, that's 30.
Okay. As you crest on about a half hour of playing, you notice that people are moving closer. No one, again, people for ambiance and timing, and for how long people spend here, they're listening in, and then there's that, but still going about their conversations and stuff. You've got more people following. You do, alright, are you going to continue?
And then there
How
was
long am I
song.
playing now?
About a half hour.
Yeah, I got a little bit more in me. I'll do one more bout.
Alright.
After every song, it's like, yeah! Woo! Jam man! Jam the
And even to
motherfucking
that
jam
effect-
man, jam man.
People don't seem to be blinded by your drunkenness either.
I love it. This is my place.
Most people don't.
Looking through the room as well.
The rest of us are just all.
You see some various games being played. You see you see Jin themselves who are also very intoxicated at this point.
I know that guy's been drinking.
But again, everybody they they've still maintained a sense of like class and ordinance, but some of them do get rowdier than others, and clearly anyone in this place is like used to the occasional outburst of anything.
Of course.
27.
27. Okay. After about 45 minutes during your last set and performance, you actually are joined by a piper, Jin, who comes by and is traveling and seems to play very well in tandem with you.
Okay. Well, if he's still playing, I'll play with him.
It's a lady. That's a lady, Jin. But
Or her. If she's still
Yeah.
playing, I'll play with her. I just meant I was gonna do another lick and then probably
yeah,
like.
she's
have
wrapping up the rest, and as you kind of wrap up that set after about 45 minutes of playing, it's up to you if you continue or not.
Yeah, if she's still playing, I'll play.
Okay.
Oh man.
29.
She's also very good, but not quite as good as you are. But she keeps up with you very well. It's been very entertaining. People are now actively watching the performance of you guys play. You're after about an hour of this before that's kind of a good set to be there.
Yeah.
She turns and kind of wrapping up your last song.
Woo, Jam man! Thanks for playing, man.
So.
Thanks for
Check this
jamming,
out.
Jam
She-
man.
Anything
She
for
says,
you, Strogo.
Look at this cup, man. I drink all of it, and it fills up again.
It's just for you.
What is it?
I'm making an item.
You might never want to leave this place.
An item dictionary.
Oh, nice. You're ridiculous. That's the easiest way to do it.
That's
Whatever
so
works.
funny.
I think it will. I mean, it's really convenient once it's there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like really convenient.
Okay. How about it? I am very
Because
much-
adding a note on like the comment of like where the
Yeah.
item is, it sticks the note on that cell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not like.
So then
to-
you either transfer it whenever you move an item or do anything. And
Yeah.
Josh,
Make a new
I am
note.
just curious. Does anybody ever get interested in the fact that I have an instrument that nobody's ever played here before?
Not out here, not really.
Oh.
I would say you do get questioned about it on the material plane. Absolutely. People out here are more interested in like they're used to seeing things they haven't seen,
Oh,
and so they don't necessarily question it as in this is something strange. We see strange all the time, but yeah, exactly. That.
Sorry.
She kind of, as you guys wrap up the performance, and she's lumbering in height to you. She's about 8 feet tall, with no legs, as it just wisps into a small tornado-like wind, gaseous form at her lower half. She kind of turns on to you, says, "Well, that was a lovely performance. We don't get a ton of traveling performers coming through. What is your name?"
Jamaneros, the Jam Man Carter.
Jamaneros. Very nice to meet you. I'm Italia. I've been here for quite some time. It's nice to meet a performer of your skill. Will you be staying long?
To be honest, I don't know. We came to, if possible, perhaps seek out counsel with the Great Caliph. So we might stay for a bit if it takes a while, or if it happens quickly, we might be on our way. So.
They've been in council for some time now. I hate to see you leave quickly, but it does look like they might be wrapping it up soon.
Yeah, I mean, I would be honored for your company the entire time that we're here.
As well, I have others that I must attend to here and there, but I will definitely pass by when I can. Says, good luck in meeting with the Great Caliph.
Thank you.
Then she kind of begins to drift.
Before she takes away, I'll say, and if you'd like to perform again, just come find me.
She says, I'll keep my ear out for you.
Yes.
If I find myself next to like a djinn in my drunken stupor,
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna ask if I can like walk through their legs.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, come on, the drunk has got to give you advantage. Like,
I got the drunken charisma thing going. Well, the first roll was a 19. Second roll was a 4.
Okay.
And my persuasion is a +0.
Okay. So, you as your first djinn, you kind of stumble up to, as you kind of like look up to it and speak.
Visibly drunk.
Visibly drunk. It kind of looks down to you in like a scoff and kind of like begins to just fly away from you.
Through me?
Away from you.
you're like, yeah, that's it.
Looking for.
Catching out, it's like trying to grab into the mist that is it's nothing. It looks down and kind of like speeds up as it flies away.
Josh, real quick. After the performance, and I go to have another drink,
running
I'm
over
gonna
me.
cast. When I go to take another drink, I'm gonna cast Under Sun on me.
Okay. You guys have now been here for a couple hours, and you guys are actually kind of starting to feel a little bit warm.
Because we've been drinking.
Tired?
Just tired.
Like it's
Oh,
been
worn.
Warm, tired.
I think you said warm.
Yeah, from your duration of journey and everything, you guys have had now, if you've chosen to, had a few drinks.
I have.
Yeah.
I
So
probably had a couple.
it depends at this point. You
people
feel
sleep in this place?
they do.
Okay.
Just sleep right there.
Oh,
Does a pillow apparate up? Oh, hi. Whoa.
Dude.
You just smacked the cat down.
I just
No.
throw that cat
You
anywhere.
just knocked that cat up.
Yeah.
Sweetie, are you okay?
Sweetie.
It fell because it
You smacked the cat.
So, hey, cat.
There's a
Boom.
video.
Oh, you smacking a cat!
Yeah, that's evidence against you.
It probably does look that way.
I've never seen a cat look in so much pain before.
Look, it's walking weird now.
You see kind of like higher above the windows, there are a few alcoves that are just kind of cropped out that are drawn with sheets throughout the entire upper chamber. About halfway through the hall, there's another set of them that are into the wall in the lower chamber as well. That act as single bedrooms for anyone that is trying to sleep for an evening. You gather that if the curtain is drawn, there's probably someone in there, and if the curtain is open, you see just a freshly made bed on the inside. Maybe a king size bed, big enough and longer to fit to accommodate these.
Why would we ever leave here?
I don't want to leave. I tell like some lady, she's like, so you and me would go to the bedroom right there.
She says, and do what exactly?
Oh, you know, like the thing that.
He's been talking to a statue for 2 hours.
It's fine.
Please make that the reality.
Yep, that is now the reality.
Oh my god.
You guys, as you're starting to feel tired watching Drogo talk to a statue, it's just the head of a statue.
Like a bust
Just
on a-
it is a-
You're very beautiful. I am kind of with his
Oh,
princess right
The only thing
now.
would have been better if it was a mirror.
But I mean, if you upstairs, there's a bedroom. I've never been here before. You know, say yes, not no's.
No response.
Wow, really?
Very
Well,
rude.
fuck you too then. And I leave, really upset.
Alright, so are you guys going to find a sleeping area at this point then? Or a trancing area?
Yeah, if we're feeling tired, that's what I'll go there. I'll have another drink, and then
Okay.
I'll go up there.
No, I don't want to stop.
You just gonna, okay.
No, keep going.
Give me a constitution saving throw.
On the drinking or I'm well past drunk. So I don't know. This is for the exhaustion.
Nope, this is for blacking out.
You know,
You
I
said
think
you're keeping
black-
going. You're gonna drink, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Definitely.
There's only so much you can do for
Actually,
I know.
I'll stay up a little bit longer with
That
Eventually,
was-
you start taking liver damage.
That was a
Yeah.
13.
Liver damage.
That's a 13 Constitution save.
Okay.
Please lower your count by 1 point.
We'll say you are drunk already. What's your actual constitution score?
12.
12. And you're 13. So that's a plus. Okay. We'll say you just make your saving throw on the first one.
Okay.
You guys are able to stay up for about another hour or so. How heavily are you drinking?
Not as heavily, but after the performances, if nobody else, especially that Jake has come back, or if nobody else is like kind of gathered around, then I'm just gonna be drinking.
It's to and from. You see this constant state of people coming and
Yeah, I
going.
just meant if somebody like asked for performance, I would stop drinking to perform. But other than that, I would probably just be drinking.
Yeah, so you gather for the most part, people here are here to be here.
Yeah.
And they're waiting for whatever the Caliph has to say.
At some point, I'm going to try to ride my broom.
One more
And
constitution
surf- and
save,
surf
and let's
on
see
it.
what. Oh man.
Should I make it on
Con save.
This
first,
probably
yeah.
that was probably early in the day though that I was trying to do
Ooh.
that.
All right. So what's my first? My first one isn't blacking out. Is it just being sick or?
Depends.
So that's a 17.
How much have you been drinking? You tell me where you're at.
I am drunk. Not much more than that. But I want to use Bardic Inspiration here to pump that up. Yeah.
What?
So that's a 13 con save. Or 13.
13. All right.
Seven.
What's your? Oh, your actual con is only 10 though.
It's 11.
Yeah. Nope. Does not go well for you.
All right, I'm
What
done.
did you get?
Returning to the room.
17. Okay. Huh?
Returning to the room.
As you're gonna get to the room, you kind of like you're really wobbly in your step before getting in there and kind of face planting on the bed, like partially off the bed still, just like this
Fair.
is a good place to stop, and you stop.
This.
What if the Caliph comes while I'm just down there black and drunk? And I'm just like,
Laying on top of a statue.
Elder Temp, fight, yeah.
You maintain it. You get on your broom. You begin to start.
Wait, that was the con check was for that?
No, I need a dex save now for that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where's our good nature?
Are you
people
making
that
me
come
a
save
disadvantage?
save
Oh,
us
yeah.
from this embarrassment? Come on, Mr. Law and Order.
Okay, so
So you're already at
no
disadvantage for it. You're just at a hard DC to maintain this fight right now.
I'm not gonna make it. I got a 21.
Oh, you do not make it. You get about 10, 15 feet before the broom just kind of slips out. Fortunately, it's a broom. Is your broom attached to you or no?
Yeah, I have a thing.
I thought so. Okay. Without that, your broom still jettisons forward to the max tether before you just go face planting right on the ground. You would take 3 points of damage as you face plant onto your face, and like that's it. Because that's the point. Your broom still next to you clatters to the ground. You kind of look up to see. You was noticed. Absolutely.
I'll reach out for some ice.
As you reach to the table, there you pull a mug. There's more liquor that is not going onto your.
I'm not gonna pass it up, you know.
After a moment, you do have your ice as well.
There it is.
Let's go on another con save.
Okay. I need something good.
Are you near me or
You
am I near
just need
him?
like a natural 20
He's
at
out
this point.
past people
Okay.
turned in at this point.
Oh.
And the verdict?
4.
You're dead.
As you collapse to the ground, for the sake of this, you wake up the next day very hungover in a bed with a drawn curtain. To the two of you that went to bed more sober, you guys see as the curtains, as you enter the room, when they're drawn, there's a locking mechanism that kind of locks the curtain itself tight. And it is not, it looks like it's made of some like silk and cloth or something, but actually pulling across, like pulling like heavy duty like curtains. And it kind of has the same like, as they shift and lock, it almost like turns steel on it, as these chambers seem to be very sturdy. Right.
Do I do a double trance because of how drunk I was?
Oh yeah, you get a solid long rest.
Okay.
A normal person's long rest, because you are unconscious for the first 4 hours of it. Then you get some sleep transing, and then you're awake. Like,
fair enough.
definitely hungover. You guys still had a fresh day. Everything is reset
Am I,
for you
am I,
guys.
am I hungover as well?
You're feeling good. Minorly. But even your hangovers are only, his is extremely bad, but even now where you would have normally had a bad hangover, here it's not super awful.
Oh, okay.
I need some bacon.
Still, I'll use a point from the staff and cast Lesser Restoration on myself.
Okay. Remove it. Alrighty. You guys come out.
Cheating.
As you guys
Just
leave after the long
cheating.
rest, entering the hall again, it looks like you didn't leave it. There's the same people, the same light, the same everything. How long, if I were to say the Caliph never comes out, this is from my notes and how long ago, how long would you guys spend in here before giving up?
How long?
30
till
years.
They come get us. Or that lady said she's gonna come find us.
Well, the lady said she's just around to and from playing and stuff.
No, not her.
No,
the one
no.
that said her
ship,
gifts were
from the
acceptable
ship.
and said I
They're
could
gonna
play.
find us, right?
That was them. You guys are just waiting for the Great Caliph at this point.
Yeah.
You've gained access to there. He was in council and then he's addressing the chamber. That is what you heard.
Okay, so the Will's crew, Irva.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Irva. He
They're
said
sending you a message.
they will send us a message when they're getting
Via
ready
the
to
spell.
leave. They will send us a message when they're gonna leave. So I just assumed at that point we would make our decision on if we wanted to wait or not if we had not talked
Okay.
to them.
So then, as far as
And we'll
for
see
this, you're gonna stay in the Hall of Welcome until you're either called by them or the Great Caliph comes out, right?
Yeah, there's food,
Liquor. However,
places to sleep.
I will say after 5 days or so, if we don't get a message, I feel like we should maybe think about seeing if they're still here because we don't know if spells can get in here.
You could also try and message them.
Guard. Can message spells get to people out of here or in here? Guard. Guy.
To a guard, the guard would not know.
Really?
Don't cast the spell. He says there are defenses set up to help ward from attacks on the chamber itself and the fortress, but I'm not sure of anything that would
Try
limit.
sending Ladra a note.
No, that wouldn't work. That's well, the note might work. That's interplanar, but that's different than the message spell.
Still.
The message can't go planes.
I think a
Well, I mean,
message
if
that you have to be
a-
able to see the person.
Interplanar spell can go through.
Message,
No.
message,
Message is anywhere on the same plane. Or,
message will just ask him if he has a time frame on the boat.
Let me make sure that's the right spell in front of him.
Message is the 25-word one that can go as far as you want, and then sending, I think, is the one that can go
Yeah, message is I think the
30
lesser.
feet, but you can say whatever you want. 100 feet.
it's not. I'm sorry. It's whichever one is the bigger. It's the spell version, not the
Mine's the
cantrip
cantrip.
version. Yeah, whatever they would have said, whichever one was the spell version. I know that because the cantrip's only like 120 feet or 240 feet or
Yeah.
something.
Sending is
Sending is, I think, what it is.
Okay.
So wait, you don't have message,
I have message.
Not
which is the
sending.
long one.
No, message is the
Sending
short.
is the-
Message is only
message
like
is the
240
cantrip.
feet or 150 feet or something.
Sending is a 25-word any distance.
Yes, that's the one that they will use to contact you because they're not gonna know where you are. You're
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
gonna-
So none of us know sending.
Nope.
I learned sending.
How do you learn sending?
I don't know. I just
He just hey, well,
I-
maybe.
I pray on Ion's book to
Try to
teach me
scribe.
You're trying to turn the page.
sending.
Here.
What? No.
Hey, use the orb and try to scribe.
Oh yeah, I'll use my orb of telepathy and I'll scry on Will.
Okay. You scry on Will. At this time,
He's in the bathroom. He's
no, he's asleep right now.
he's
in a
taking
bed,
a dump.
in a very dimly lit chamber by nothing but a candlelight.
Is anybody in the
Oh,
bed with
worshiping
him?
Satan.
He's by himself.
He's
Worshiping
sleeping.
Satan.
All right, then never mind. I'll hold off.
He is or is not worshiping Satan.
I'll try again in a few hours.
Though you do notice, I mean, the spell worked.
Okay.
That's all we were looking for, right?
Oh, well, but I'm using the orb. I don't know. It's a little, but yeah, you're right.
You do.
You're right. No, the spell worked. We'll just wait.
What you gotta do? You wanna keep peeping up on the well? You peeping
So
down?
it did work. So then is that gonna?
Yeah, then we'll wait. Like I said, if after 5 days we don't hear anything, then I'll try the orb again.
See where he's
But-
at. Yeah. I am not having a good morning. I just sit and I just smash eggs.
I say, you know what,
All in
Trogo?
any foods you want.
Trogo, you know what? Because we're in such a spectacular place that you want to enjoy, I cast Lesser Restoration on Trogo as well.
And like that, hangover gone.
Wow, jam it.
Problem
Thank
solved.
you, man. I reach out and I feel my You done
Me
me
as well.
Clink.
Although I'm not going ham, I'll just have one with you for now.
So
Another day of non-stop drinking.
as you guys now, is there? I mean, nothing necessarily changes to this chamber of steady partying. Is there anything any of you would be doing outside of this?
Performing every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And at this point, I mean, you are very well. I mean, I'll give you guys a gist of how many rests you have taken, given the things you had. Is there anything you would have done, knowing now that you are going to be in here for multiple days?
if I say that I am
Scoot around on the.
performing every now and then, does that mean I can still take time to like create my scrolls?
I mean, if it's like would be like minor performance things like that, you'd be able to.
Well, then I guess I'll attempt to create scrolls. But if, like I said, I'm kind of if somebody's no.
Can we leave and come back into this room?
The doors have not opened since you've been in here.
I will ask. Can we leave and come back in here?
He says you will be escorted to the lower city, and you will need to find a way back in. You will need permission.
So it's not like I was in here already, so I don't get like a pass.
There are no wristbands here.
I was just checking.
You guys can stamp my hand.
I want to stay here forever.
Oh,
So
it's probably, you probably got to be like 1,000 years old to get, re-entry.
He says, he says, and anyone that is welcome in the hall is welcome to stay as long as they would like. As the Great Caliph is very hospitable.
Thank you.
Guys, 2 ideas. Before we just stay here for who knows how long. One, do we just want to get the message to the Great Caliph that we are seeking out the Elder Tempest? 2, do we want to maybe contribute the Bandolier of Daggers as a gift?
Didn't
Of,
I feel like not letting other people have that.
I
I think that's a bad thing to give
I
away.
feel like us not getting attacked by whoever wants his Bandolier back is also a good thing.
Yeah, but this might be construed as a bad thing, like a bad gift.
It's a gift. I mean, we're just giving it to him, be like, hey, look, here's a God-slaying item.
Yes,
It's
but
yours,
we
bud.
know what it is and what the problem with it is, so it's slightly unethical. It's just
We drop it in.
It is unethical
okay. Thank you.
How's that unethical?
because you're basically trying to fuck this dude up.
Yeah, I mean, now
It's
this
like,
weird.
It's not gonna happen to me, so therefore it doesn't matter.
With our luck, it'll probably happen to the guy who grabs it to inspect it. The fucking thing will hop out like, haha, I'm coming to get you.
Ghost door pops up.
Now we look like
It's
terrorists.
like,
So
this
Yeah.
This is
I'm
not
not.
terrorist
Nobody's gonna
attack.
inspect it. I'm just gonna pull it out of my bag and toss it onto the fucking plate.
Didn't it just happen? Like, didn't they just grab it right away last
No,
time?
that was before we got in here.
Oh, I don't know, man.
yeah, I'd
I
say.
feel like the Great Caliph can figure out who. He's probably got cameras.
Get him out
He's-
here. Get him out here.
I'm gonna vote against this idea.
It's an idea I have that I think is a really good
Like
idea.
I said, there are also, for the sake of the conversation, there are thousands of armed Mimrodons within this chamber.
Yeah, but I'm not starting anything. I'm just giving him a
I'm
gift
just
of.
saying that
God
is
slaying.
what is in this room.
I'm trying to fly my broom, like Molden. Just keep doing that. Might not get as drunk. as
Yeah, does the carpet have
first
any
night.
proficiency
Because it was something that was
required?
brand new, you know.
Pretty much. Just
It's able to if you want to get crazy with it. But
basically, I would be right around that if I felt it in the future
Or
I needed to have any special ability to drive or fly it.
No, but someone is like piloting it essentially whenever they're on it, and then that's it.
new idea.
I mean, if you want to like stand on it, do flips on it, things like that, that's where things get crazy. But if you're it's built to be a transportation thing.
Yeah, no, I don't really do flips.
New idea, not as cool. What if we just dump a shit ton of platinum on the plate?
We
What you
don't
trying to do? You're
have-
trying to sell
I
it?
have like 300 on me.
I'm saying,
Alright,
in the
why are you
grand
doing
scheme of
that?
things,
I don't think that
the-
gets him out any faster.
I don't think the size or level. Looking at what's already out there,
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't
good
think the level of our gift
Yeah, so we should just throw in the bandolier.
has any effect.
I still think throwing in the bandolier is a really bad idea.
I think it's the best idea we have. Since nobody else has any ideas.
No, the idea is to not do that.
We're crossing streams.
I'll say too, because you are in here for multiple days as these ideas come across too. Like you gather, they're not. He's with counsel with whoever he's counsel with, and no one seems to really have that answer. But he does have.
That's what I'm doing.
When he's
while
out
we're
of
in there.
counsel, then that's when he's done.
I'm
You know
trying
what I
to learn
mean?
more.
It's more like when he's done, he's done. You're not trying to goad him out, but gifts.
Oh, okay.
Gifts give you entry to the hall that
Then
you
never
were
mind.
deserving
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
where you are.
Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing while we're waiting. I'm talking to the guards and anybody else that looks
I
like
thought it was
they've
one of
been
those.
there a while.
He's in
Just
council.
get a general idea of how things operate.
I'll tell you what. I'll
In this chamber, give me a investigation check.
Of course. Any of these.
I got a different plan. now.
Yeah, 6.
What you gather is like this chamber is just another state of party and welcome
Debauchery.
The
It's,
guards aren't sitting around willing to talk.
from your role. Given some of this opportunity, people will talk to you, no problem, but nobody really seems to know. I mean, the function of where you currently are is the entranceway to meet with him. If you're going to meet with him, if you're scheduled a meeting. However, again, he's in a council with someone over something, and so
Right, I'm trying to figure out
Is it that passenger that?
what, if he comes out, what our chances are of actually talking to him, or what, if anything, we can do to increase.
Joe's
our
just
odds.
walking up to like other djinns like, hey, you ever met the Great Khalif? What's he like?
I guess I'll
So
say
he likes stuff.
He's great.
with great cause, with great purpose, he'll meet with people.
I will. Over the next couple of days of performing and doing stuff, I'll try and talk to Italia a bit more to see if what she knows about the Elder Tempest.
Nothing. Yeah, unfortunately, I tell you, and like most of these people, even kind of gleaming the bits of information about your current quest, the Elder Tempest is to some consider it a fictional, some worship it as a god. Some people in the chamber, have heard of it. Everyone has heard of it in some capacity. How they've heard of it kind of depends on their roots and the stories they've been told and what they personally believe. No one has seen it. The general consensus you always get, which is that it is in a storm, and nobody just flies into the storms in the plane of air. That's foolish for a ship or a djinn, anyone to do.
Well, I'll ask her, is there any way to go about flying into storms?
She says, you just
We are the Storm Slayers.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
says, she more jokingly is
I was
like,
pre-laughing.
just be able to hold up against the weather, I guess. Be a good flyer.
Be a good.
Like, in a way, that's what it is. It's 100, 200, 300 mile per hour winds. It's constant lightning, firestorms, ice storms, hail. Anything you could think of could occur in these things. Various clouds, things like that, have toxins, have diseases, have spores, hold creatures. They say there's
We really got to put our money where our name is now.
there's to
We're just
go
gonna
after.
start killing all the storms over here. I'll just one slay a storm.
What's that government weather control device? We HARP. We need that.
All right, what else are you guys doing?
I don't know. My performances don't really seem to be doing much. He's on council. See, that's what I'm saying. Like we don't.
We have no
It's-
way
it's-
to.
it's
It sounds
really-
like we have
it's-
no way to sway.
That's what I'm saying. Is
anything,
it,
anyways.
correct. To get to the Caliph until the next, probably that's kind of why we're gonna pass time here slightly. Is just saying, for the time being, you guys get few. You guys have about 4 or 5 long rests. Let's say about 5 long rests worth of time. And again, without tracking passage of time, this is I'm getting tired. I'm gonna go crawl into one of these holes, sleep for a while, get up, and continue to be about this chamber over the course of these 5 days. Well, 5 long rests, however many days it actually is.
During some of my performances that are solo, I will tell tales of the Storm Slayers.
Okay. I'll say make a performance check for me.
Oh yeah, I'm with him doing that. I mean, not telling him. I'm a knowledgeable bystander of our travels.
Natural 20.
Okay. So, at first,
The
you begin to tell the tales of
bandolier
your
guy
deeds,
just blows up.
and
And I'm
when you-
druid crafting
when you
around
start
it
when
too.
you start to tell these deeds of what the Stormslayers have accomplished, you notice like at first you're like, oh, some of these things have been run-ins and like show like we are clearly contenders to be reckoned with, and as you kind of catch wind that there's nod to the guard kind of like watching, you kind of shift it more and shift your tales to be more valiant and tell the stories of how you've protected and saved and all these things, and so.
Ended the wrath of Imrith.
And yes, the storm of the desert lies beneath the desert
Help
now
the
because of
storm
you.
giants.
You named overwhelming good came from what could have been bad had the stories been told the wrong way. But ultimately gaining a much recognition throughout the chamber and touching on many of the Jin's ears here. The later half of the days that you spend down here are wrought with more people coming and cheersing and congratulations, and other people come, and now you are kind of getting a lot more. I'm going to say, actually, for the sake of this too, you're not really going to be able to get to the scroll. Your time spent awake
That's
now
right.
is people coming and celebrating and hearing the stories, and you have certainly become a focal point of the inside of this place at that time.
Yeah.
That natural place.
Who's
That being said,
That's right. This was the
They call
plan.
him the man jam.
and one natural 20 and shifts the course of the room. So, as you guys are kind of in the midst of a day, less drunk as it's earlier in your days. Okay. As Jin flies up near the plate, you guys are kind of found yourselves stationed more mid towards the front plate as you are waiting for the Great Caliph, seeing these large platforms that jettison out and meet at a center point. You see one Jin dressed in very ornamental blue and white cloth with like thunderbolts down the back comes
Shazam.
forth and yes, Shazam comes forth and a lightning strike kind of like hits what looks to be some sort of like, I'm gonna say like again like a Tesla coil kind of thing in the center of the chamber, and it begins to radiate sound that echoes throughout the chamber.
I'm gonna roll to see how drunk I am at this very.
This was earlier in waking up, but at the rate you've been going, yeah, I did say it was kind of earlier when
Okay,
you guys
then
had just gotten up from a day.
Okay.
And I'll use
If I had just gotten up, that means
I'll-
You you sucked out some of the junk, and you had some of your breakfast. So you're either in the state of, I'll let you choose. You're either in the state of early drinking or shaking off the hangover still.
I cure his hangovers in the morning.
Yeah, he keeps my hangovers every morning,
Oh,
so I
okay.
can drink every day. So I'm early drinking.
Early drinking, not drunk, but just kind of, and you know it's unlimited. So
I haven't it was new the first day, so like
Yeah.
after that, like it became less of a thrill.
and you're okay.
But I have not stopped.
He's trying to
I
get
am
the
very-
magical
more
bottle
long
to
rest
pour
than
directly
anyone
into his
else,
mouth.
because you constantly fall asleep
That's a
wherever
good
you
point.
are. You watch too, as you guys have been drinking on Trogo, and when he passes out the table, a wind will swift under him, pick him up, carry him to a bed, and then close the curtains.
Yeah,
Oh,
this-
fantastic.
As there is no,
This is the
there's
best
no-
bar
there's
ever!
I'm I just like Kevin said. I imagine
You guys have turned in the
sitting there
first
with the
night
mug,
before seeing
and he's
it,
like
but-
trying to keep the mug over his mouth and then move it, so the bottle just keeps pouring into his mouth.
I'll like put it like right here, so let's pour it.
And it's okay. More bottles, continuous alcohol and food and beverage and hospitality of these gin. At this time, the coils radiate, sound goes, the entire room hushes. The man speaking, kind of echoing through the hall. He says, as you all have waited, I welcome the great Caliph Hassam Abali Ben Nafta Al Ugalar, master of the clouds, son of the breezes, seeker keeper of the four winds, prince of birds, storm of the heavens, defender of the righteous, emperor of gales, commander of monsoons, and master of the air. Welcomes you all to his...
Still less than Daenerys's.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know.
There is applause through the room, and before you, a 9 foot, slightly, yeah, got some pudge to him.
It's Ron Williams.
Large purple robes, kind of hanging down with gold-like sash wrapped around him. Hair black and pulled back into a long ponytail. With a red bandana, various silks. He has like armaments that are kind of like drooping off of his hands as he kind of gives a very like open-handed like welcome to the room. He announces again, his voice very low actually, coming out and it kind of just bellowing through the room. He says, I welcome you all to my hall. Please stay as long as you can. My council has ended. Should my presence be asked, to the righteous we may break bread on this day. And he kind of drifts down from his platform. At this time, the table where everything had been set, which is he is currently descending on, kind of opens up, and the items kind of like swirl into like a bit of a tornado, and kind of begin to like suck down into this thing. And as it closes, it apparates into a long banquet table, seating with about 10 seats, one at the end and one at the other end. As he sits down, the guards that were around the plate shift, stairs now form down, and a barrier of ice comes from the ceiling and kind of quarters off where he is now sitting. A feast forms below the table. You see now too the guards of the Myrmidons have lined so on the outside of the ice and then on the inside around him, and he is now kind of sat down and begins to break off the leg of what appears to be some sort of bird that is carved on the table, as he sits kind of just amongst these empty chairs by himself right now. But what are you guys doing?
Going to the table.
Okay.
No, we should let Jam Man play a song, like get his attention that way, you know.
As you walk up, you see like the crowd's kind of gathered in front. You see there's a couple queues where people kind of, you watch this, one of the Jinn who's also dressed with very nice diamond rings and stuff kind of walks up to one of the guards in a hushed tones. You just kind of see him talking for a brief moment before the guard raises his hand, and then turns, shifts he's able to, like, the ice itself shifts around just that small part and melts back. He walks in, talks to him before the message is then related to the Jinn to see if that, whatever he had whispered to the guard is worthy enough to dine with the Jinn.
Do that.
I'll go. You said there's a line.
You see, like, on either side, they're the guards on the either end. You watch now as, like, one person kind of comes up, and then they relay the message to the inside. It's shifted, and then relays. You see as the Jinn. Now, you cannot hear anything on the other side of the barrier. However, you do see someone comes up to the Jinn. You see the first one. He kind of, like, looks to, he's, like, as eating, he just kind of nods, and maybe, like, you hear, like, you don't hear anything, but, like, you see him consulting, and then, like, you see him shake his head to another one. No, and it's people seem very timid, and...
I'll just march right up on there.
Okay. You march right up to one of the guards who, as you
I'll get
approach,
mine.
looks
I'm not
down.
gonna cut the line.
Like I said, there's no... You see, like, there's queues... I don't mean queue in, like, a straight line, but, like, a group of people gathered. There's murmuring amongst them as they try to, like, work up the courage or try and get their story straight because they know this is the chance to speak to him if it's going to be the chance to speak to him. So...
Don't screw it, Jam Man.
Okay.
So you walk up to the guard, and as you do, he kind of looks down to you and says, "And what news do you bring for the great Caliph?"
I say I am with my companions, the Storm Slayers, and we have been sent by the Guardians of the Prime Material Plane to seek out the Elder Tempest, and we would hope that the Great Caliph could help steer us in the right direction.
He says, "The Storm Slayers, your tales have made it to my ears. Make a persuasion check with advantage."
He knows about us.
He's been singing it out for like 2 weeks.
Shut the fuck up, please.
How does using luck on advantage work?
Kill the dragon.
How does using luck on advantage work?
You have to roll a die and
It's
replace
just,
your
it
roll.
replaces the roll.
Place one of your rolls.
How
Place
long
one
did
of
you
my
say it
rolls?
was? Was it about a week?
No, I mean,
mean,
it's going to replace. No, because when you.
You choose one and then you replace that one with your luck.
Oh, wait, but don't luck. You already get to choose which one.
No. If,
When you
if
use
I
luck,
choose,
you just get the new luck roll, right?
yeah, but
you
I.
can choose not to use it.
Yeah, I think you can choose that.
You could choose not to.
Oh, then. Okay.
Then it's just a third roll.
Alright, I guess I'll use that one and just to. Bardic Inspiration. Alright, not bad. 720. You said Persuasion, right?
Mm-hmm.
35.
He says.
Good God.
He says. Well, you with the merit you have, and he turns and whispers to the guard behind him. You see as the guard begins to turn, he kind of makes eye contact with you, and then walks back to the great. And begins to walk back to the Great Caliph. There's a solid 3 or 4 minutes of pause as you kind of are now watching through there to see the kind of reaction that he gives, and ultimately no real change in his manner as he sits there. He's finished with his eating. He's now moved on to whatever. He's now eating, cutting with a fork and knife, and eating. At the table, he looks and turns and kind of just gives a nod and keeps eating. Everything is quiet for a little while as he continues. After a moment, the Great Caliph, after more people have done this. Now this goes on for about an hour as he sits there sipping on wine, drinking, eating. You hear one of the first person, the announcer who would come in, says that the Great Caliph will dine with Leodor and council now. One of the who seems to be a noble Jin, again decked out in very a lot of gold and platinum around him, kind of walks forward with a company of 4 other people. They are now allowed in through there. You see as they sit down at chamber. Again, you watch over the course of the next couple hours that they sit and they talk and they're having. You guys are just kind of patiently now backed away from gathering how this is going to operate. Over the course of another 3 hours, another person is called out and enters.
If the next call out wasn't us, I guess I'll just start playing a little bit.
Okay. I'll make a performance check.
They can't hear back there, right?
Correct.
Like,
You can't hear anything from that side of the chamber.
Okay,
You don't
then
know what the other side is.
I'll assume that it's not really that big of a deal, so I'll just perform a little bit.
I mean, it's the council.
I'll try and play a song in honor of the Great Caliph.
Okay. The Great Caliph Hassan Abelio Ben Nafta.
That's a song in itself. I mean, you got a chorus just saying his
Yeah.
name.
25.
25. Okay.
Yeah, my performance is only plus 10.
People, yeah, then again, you guys have spent the better part of the day now waiting on this, and before the third person is, as they announced, as the second group leaves, seemingly slightly distraught from when they had left, as probably receiving negative news, you do hear the Great Caliph will see these Storm Slayers now.
Yeah.
As you wrap up your thing, the crowd kind of like pauses and claps for you, and you hear some of the people in the room, like, all right, it's your time now.
Okay.
I can get general good feelings from these people.
We should break here so we can talk about what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Because we have no idea what we're going to talk about, I don't think, here.
Hey, Great Caliph. Fuck off.
Tell me where that dragon is. I don't know why I keep saying it's a dragon. Show me where that temp is.
Okay, so I've got 34 items just between armory stuff that I want to type in now. Because I'm making an item dictionary, so you can click on your item and it goes to
It
a
shows the
page.
information on it.
Yeah, it tells you like the
Oh,
rarity, if it requires attunement,
Awesome.
the whole description of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're putting
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
work into
yeah.
that. That's more effort than I would ever put into it, so I
Get
appreciate
out of
it.
here. Come on.
Yeah. So,
I
I
need
don't know. I'm tired of having
Monte
these
Adams
stupid
scored
little
one
pieces
more
of
point
paper.
and won $100.
fucking- I've got
There you go.
34 of them. If I well, no, probably
You
like
didn't
40
score
because
more.
that doesn't even include my items.
I need to do.
The Packers had a plus 10 line on this
I
game.
want.
I believe
What
it.
I did was
No.
I lined
Yeah.
them
Mine
all
is
up,
10.
and then I took a picture of them and I turned it that way.
Whatever it is.
They were favored by 10, right?
Yes.
You're
yeah.
saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Packers minus 10. Are they going to go for it? That's the question. Is she going to go outside? I don't know. I always worries me. That's the last thing I want to ever do is chase this cat around outside. I'm going to put some shoes on. It's cold. Oh, are you still watching? Oh, it's a commercial. I was going to say we could turn it. Yeah, I go. I was down by 6 for high point for the week. That's worth $100. Nice. He scored 6 exactly. Oh, so was a tie after you split it.
Ever again. Ever, never. Oh my god.
Can I pick you up, cat?
It doesn't look like a kitty who likes being picked up. Maybe.
I've never seen her fuss. Like, she'll do it, but I mean, I'm sure she won't always.
Ooh, yeah.
That's-
I think it was like a weird middle ground. I think she had, like, do it or not.
It's like, are you gonna pick me up? Or is this just
Being
weird?
tangled right now.
I'm not trying.
Look at these dice. Look at them.
Don't do it. That's like my fear right now.
Oh, I want to start batting things off the ship.
You cannot drink a pie.
This is the new boss.
The
It is a live cat.
the
It
thing,
disregards your move.
yeah, the thing is
I know
like,
what you're trying to do. You'll be up all night.
She had her whole head in one of these cups drinking my water one time. I was like, all right.
Yeah, one of my dogs, my little pug, will come up and just drink out of my water glass if it's full, and I'm like, you are a bastard.
This is yours
This is
now, I guess.
disgusting. I'm
Yeah.
not drinking it now.
Gotta get one of those butthole jewels. They have like these
Yeah.
cat accessories. You put like a little necklace around their tail and it covers up their butthole.
Oh, okay.
It's not like an anal plug.
But it seems like it calls more
What an
attention
insane
to
thing
it.
to say and
it
exist.
does draw more attention,
And
but you're not
it's-
looking at a butthole. You're looking at a jewel that's covering the.
But I'm still looking at a butthole.
I'm with you. I'm just saying that's the point of it.
I'll look it up.
And what happens when the cat takes a shit?
I don't know. I don't have a cat. I don't have a cat with butthole jewels.
I will assume.
It's your idea.
It wasn't my idea. Somebody else with a cat had that idea.
He would be a cat person's idea.
I'm like, I got 50 cats. I'm tired of looking at all these buttholes. They sound pretty. Because I imagine the same people that like have a lot of cats are also people that do a lot of crafts.
Yes. That is.
That seems fair enough.
All right. You guys pass through the ice wall. You guys are gathered. You guys split between them and gather at the head of the table near the Great Khalif, who now being in this close proximity is easily 16 feet tall.
Oh.
Again, welcome to sitting, though, is
Oh,
still
let's
very
say,
tall.
As we answer, I'd be
Um,
like,
Does he have legs?
Great Khalif, we are the.
Of course not.
We were introduced, but I'll say we are very honored that you would grant us your counsel.
He says, of course. He says, your deeds have been spoken. You seek out the Elder Tempest amongst your problems.
Yes.
He says, the guards seem to speak high of you, and as they are my trusted force, I'm sorry, what is he calling
My homies.
him? Yep, my dog.
Mm-hmm.
The Monsoon Legion. Says Monsoon Legion. The Monsoon Legion, he says, as they are hand chosen by me, and I trust their duty. You guys seem to have great cause. He says, and I see you've brought gifts as well, which is always great to see. So, what can you do for me? For information on the Elder Tempest. You are adventurers, right? This is what I've heard.
Correct.
You seek my aid in finding the Elder Tempest.
Correct.
This is an exchange.
Yes.
So, here's what I propose. Yancy Bin,
Could you spell that for me?
YANC-BIN.
Oh, it's like Yancy Bin.
Yup. Is an elemental prince. Not the nicest of fellows, and to keep things short, we've been at war for a very, very long time. Subtle swipes here and then. A few decades ago, he allied with some Dao as well as some of the Afrit, and they attempted to siege this fortress. It, of course, did not go well for them.
Of course. Look how powerful you are.
Well, that's flattering to hear. But it was a trying time for us nonetheless. We had a few people caused more issues than they needed to. There was some issues in our ranks, and since then we've tightened it down, and travelers like yourselves are seldom allowed without good purpose. Says anyway, I don't expect you to go and deal with this man, with this
Prince.
yeah, with this prince, as that would be far too difficult and far too long of a task to accomplish. However, he has a location he refers to as the Hurricane Boneyard. It's what he uses to collect his precious artifacts from the material realm and other realms, wherever realm the air flows. He uses his hurricanes and gathers items and stores them here. It's all very organized and very patterned as to how it's stored here. He has a person.
Sorry, Hurricane Boneyard.
Storm giant guy.
Hurricane Boneyard to store items from the material world.
Artifacts that he finds across any plane that air flows. He says he is sending Erisy Kalinoth, who is a prophet,
1 second.
to retrieve one of these artifacts in whatever is to be their next assault on the fortress, or whatever his next plan is. I don't know, but we'll be ready for them here, have no doubt.
What was that guy's name?
Erisy Kalinoth.
Air elemental. And air. The sea.
Erisy's actually surprisingly not an air elemental, though she pretends to be. She dresses in very long flowing clothes to hide her legs and adorns large wings, but to us that know her, she's nothing but an elf with a tantrum. Long lived, though. Don't be fooled. She is very powerful. I would see to two things. One of two things. Eliminate her, or locate this artifact she seeks.
Huh. Wait, did he say where it is?
The Hurricane Boneyard, I
He said
can...
my papier?
The Hurricane Boneyard is a large area of the plane of air. Fairly easy to navigate to. Even the most basic of ship commanders should be able to find their way there, though seldom have a reason to go or stay. In exchange, I will give you some information on how to locate, reach, and deal with the Elder Tempest. I have in fact met and been in company with this Elder Tempest before. Not the most pleasant of experiences.
Oh.
So,
What were the
Be
two
warned.
things? One was to
Kill.
either
Or
kill
locate
her
the artifact.
or get the artifact away from her.
And you don't know what the artifact is, you just know it's in the hurricane.
We know it's located there. We know that she is protecting it. Again, it could be many things. We know it's powerful. We know it's extremely. What's the word I'm looking for? Crucial to his next plan. And we're just looking to disrupt it. Throw it off whatever course he has. Upon entering it, things are typically ranked in priority. Whether it's a civilization he has destroyed and wiped out has its own location. Things that are lost at sea have their own location. Powerful artifacts are kept normally locked in a dungeon, per se, located on a mode that's drifting within the hurricane. You'll be able to find it. It looks to be a large, there are large pillars on the outside leading into a chamber, about 15 feet tall, ceilings, and it descends into this dungeon.
So this is a dungeon in. This is an actual hurricane.
The Hurricane Boneyard?
Yeah.
Sort of. The weather there mimics a hurricane,
Okay.
but it's like instead of things being thrown about randomly, they're typically pretty grouped together, and the winds are navigable within an airship. Should that be your methods of traveling, which is how I heard you had gotten here.
Mm-hmm. That crew's not necessarily loyal to us, but we'll see what we can do with them, and if not, we'll figure out how to get there.
Your to and from is on you, as this is your quest. Is there anything else I can do to help you? He says there is one bit of information, because this could be something that is worth keeping your eyes open, and this one I'll give you for free, since you've rubbed off so well on everyone else here. He says you should be on the lookout for a creature called a Merenoloth.
Ooh.
These things take to ships and make them their lairs, and while doing so, they grant a number of very powerful boons. It should be noted that these creatures are in fact devils. They are dealt with by contract. However, this is probably going to be your best way of making it to the Elder Tempest, is with one of these aboard your vessel. Otherwise, most ships aren't going to make it into the eye of the storm.
Gotcha.
There are other ways, but that's for you to find out. It's not.
Thank you.
Well, locate this artifact, kill them. You will have an exchange. I will show you the way to the Elder Tempest. It says you're more than welcome in the hall as long as you want. Wouldn't be making their move for the next decade or so, so I'm sure that she has time there. She'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, I've been here for a week. I'm ready to go ahead and get on this
Half a
mission.
week.
You've
At
taken
least
5
5
long
months.
rests.
Yeah, it's 10 days a week.
Oh, God. I forgot this world. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll,
got it.
We'll do.
We're good.
Who knows? They might do both. Huh?
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
It's fine.
I mean,
As
I
long
feel
as it's
we'll
done.
see how terrible it is when we get there.
Yeah.
Killing her might be difficult. She is a powerful adversary. It may be worth attempting to get the artifact and get out, but if you feel formidable, by all means. It's one less thing I have to worry about.
Maybe
I mean, what? It's only been about a couple of weeks since we slayed something great. Let's,
we'll figure something out.
Well, that fucker.
Oh man, I might not slay. I might try to do the infiltrate and apprehend.
yeah, we're pretty good.
You
at that,
okay?
actually.
Are we?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
good.
We got a guy that moves 400 feet per second, and I
Uh,
can turn him invisible, and we can do all sorts of fun things. You can turn us all into birds.
I will say that
Can do that now.
it is rumored. I'll say he also would know that it is rumored that this artifact is some sort of headpiece.
Like, it looks like a head, or it's a headpiece to
It's like
a
a-
spear.
Headpiece is the word that he uses.
It's like an article of. It's an accessory you wear in your head. It's a headpiece. And do you happen to know the style? Like, is she a wizard?
No, oh,
Or is she some kind of mage, magic user? Is she a weapon wielder?
she is a.
Does she have an army?
She will be she's certainly the entire Hurricane Boneyard is patrolled by all sorts of evil air elementals and evil creatures alike. The tomb, I'm sorry, not the tomb. The dungeon will likely be trapped heavily, protected heavily, and it will also her herself is a powerful caster and strong in hand-to-hand combat.
And strong in hand-to-hand combat.
Though probably better of more of a caster.
Okay. Well, I can't think of anything else, any other information that you know. You wouldn't happen to be willing to help us. Our ship that we came in on, we rented. Just to get here. So I don't know how much the next leg is gonna be.
With offerings like you've given to me, I'm sure you have plenty amongst yourselves to give to your ship. Unfortunately, that is not my issue. You have your information on the Elder Tempest. Should you return with the artifact?
It was worth a try.
Thank you all for coming to the hall. Please enjoy the rest of your stay. It is always a pleasure to meet outstanding adventurers like yourselves, and I do hope our paths cross again soon.
It's great to meet
Me
you.
as well.
Great Khalif, and I try real hard to list off, but I don't get past the thing.
I list
he
off
gestures up.
off everything because
Cloud-
I have that
Cloud
keen
of the
mind.
Sky, King Claudius Maximus.
I'll just interrupt him.
Master of the clouds, son of the breezes, secret keeper of the four winds, prince of birds, storm of the heavens, defender of the righteous, emperor of gales, commander of monsoons, and master of the air.
Yes, I
And,
repeat all of that because
With
I
that,
have keen mind.
he gestures towards the door, and thank you all. Please enjoy the rest of your time in the hall. Safe travels. We will see you all. We'll see you all again.
As I'm leaving, I'll make sure to fill my cup up one more time. And just walk around. This is the best place ever. This is awesome.
You still have not gotten a message yet about the ship, though. So what is the plan right now?
I mean, we can go seek them out.
We know where they are, or where they're repairing.
You know where the ship is docked.
Yeah.
And then the last place you saw them was heading into the tavern.
The Royal Tavern place. Is it also an inn?
Yes, it was a bit.
Well, here we'll just go. We'll go off to a table over here or something. The four of us, and I'll use my orb of telepathy to scry on Will.
Okay. Okay. As the scry comes down and you see catch up city that he's in. You see him talking to one of the shipmates that he's with. He's talking. You see kind of next to him. You see the ship that's in mostly repair, but it doesn't seem to be quite finished yet. And you just see him kind of talking like, make sure the hull is sturdier. How much would it cost to get steel in plates? Get some steel plates from here. I hear that the work that's done around here is extremely well off.
It's telepathy, so I'll send a message to Will.
Okay.
Saying like, hey, sorry to reach out to you all of a sudden, but we are looking.
You see him almost like he kind of pauses his talk for a second as you begin to talk, and he looks about himself.
And I'll say,
This is G-Man.
we have some interesting proposals for you. Do you have time to meet up and discuss this while your ship's being repaired?
Says I would love to hear them. The ship's still a little bit of ways away. I'd be happy to meet up with you guys. If that's... How are you doing this?
I'll tell you when we meet. Where would you like to meet?
He says, we're staying in the Royal Perrin.
All right. I'll meet you there tonight.
Do they have shops?
Wait, what time is it? Is it like midday?
You don't know.
No, they don't.
How long has it been
And
since
you're
we-
looking around, you have not seen it.
How
And
long?
you haven't seen any shop. Is it?
Bazaar.
Yeah, not on that lower level. It's really just like lodging.
How long has it been since our last rest? Is it like what would be midday or?
Yeah, you've been up for about 8 hours. It'd be like afternoon, 4 or 5-ish.
Okay.
Feel wise, like
Yeah.
4 or 5-ish.
I'll say in a few hours or something. I don't really know how fucking time works here.
And
then I just shut
I've
off.
been trying to lose it. It's just like,
And then I just shut off the orb. It's fine.
Okay.
I will now.
He can scry on you and he can talk to you at the same time, so he's
A
watching.
message spell is one thing, but like the fact that you can have, because it's more than 26. Like he's used to that, but it's not used to a longer conversation back and forth. So.
I will now use the orb for my simulacrum.
Okay.
Can I go across?
Are you telling it something or doing anything? Currently, it is just in the school.
I'll say status report.
Everything's doing good.
Me.
Yeah.
All right.
You, however you would say, things are good.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what's happening. That's why. I'm
Yeah.
doing it.
No response.
Okay. Everything's good.
Yeah.
All right. Keeping me.
Like only I can.
All right. Close. Yeah.
It's so weird. You just have another you at
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Cheating.
So, What
Those
do
are my
you
two
guys-
5th level spell slots for today.
You guys go ahead and head out.
Right, that still uses my.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to Royal Perrin. I'll let you guys fill up the mug one more time.
All right.
Get that free drink.
You guys pound another free drink before you guys head to the doors. Speaking with the guard there, the 6 guard who, at the duration of this, one other group towards the beginning of the day would have been allowed in, and you saw another pair of 6 enter, and then the 6 that came with you leave. Now, as you get these 6, you begin to head and descend down the stairs, while 6 that were on the outside, 6, 8, come in, and then they are eventually replaced. You guys are coming down, very mechanical, very militarized. You guys are guided down to the lower city, where you enter the path with the raising and lower of the platforms. Hopping on a lower platform, you head down, making your way back to the Royal Perrin. You guys see as Will is sitting there with 3 of the guard at a table currently.
Through with the guard? Crew?
3 of his crew.
Okay. Will.
Good.
Are
Context
also
matters.
guards. Dun, dun, dun.
Will, our great friend.
I go up to the bar and I get a glass. And I just kind of sit there sad that it's not feeling itself.
Yeah.
Unless it
Bartender says, would you like something in the glass?
I don't know.
I'll order around for the table.
This is how I get sober.
Forever you will dream of those days spent in the Great Hall of Welcome of the Great Khalif.
I might move there.
You have to find out how to get back in. This is where Trogo
Yeah,
leaves
just
our
get by his
adventure.
way and it'll be alright.
This is where Trogo leaves our adventure.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I think I found what my true calling.
Sitting down with Will, you see he's well, the ship's about 2 days out of repairs, and then we'll be ready to set sail. Interested to see. We've picked up a few more cruisemen. They are currently gathering their belongings as well, meeting back. We're moving towards the dock, so we'll be there tomorrow night, and then setting sail hopefully the following morning. Unless, as you said, you have interesting news.
Sorry. On our way down to the Royal Perrin,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get this out to the group before we have this conversation face to face with Will. So since we're about to ask Will to take us to the Hurricane Boneyard and potentially risk his life from the whole cruise to help us kill a dangerous foe and steal a powerful artifact, should we offer to pay him a good sum of money to repair the boat and keep whatever, plus like maybe an offer like, I mean, we
Trying to
will.
give away that fucking bandolier one more
Hey,
time.
not the bandolier. I'm not gonna bring that up again. I'm saying like, while we're on the ship, like we'll protect you. Like the whole point is that we are going to get this artifact and leave, and kill whatever is in our way. But any other gold artifacts, whatever, is open for the taking. Like we got to incentivize them somehow.
They're pirates.
We'll let them in on any loot we may find.
I think they're gonna want more than just whatever.
With
we
a down
hand off
payment,
to
we could throw. I mean, what's fucking
Oh, let's give
20
them the-
platinum? It's 200
Let's
gold,
give them the
right?
option.
Like here, you know.
Well, you guys found out like the stones and stuff alone. Like I said, the one jetpack you guys were trying to buy was like 15 grand. So like the stones, should those anything happen to those are expensive. You're replacing the hull of a ship. The damage is very relevant to what
Yeah,
gets
we're not talking
damaged on
like
a
20
ship.
platinum. We're talking like 2.
Alright, well,
Okay,
offer
but-
them like 25% of anything we find.
I'm thinking like
50%.
50. Well, maybe we'll start at 30.
Yeah, I mean,
Work-
I don't
work
know.
up to
Yeah, yeah.
50.
Let's just start at 100. We'll just give you everything.
I mean, I just want to, but that's why we're having this conversation. Is that where we're willing to go? Because like,
That's
Oh.
fine. I'm not saying no. I'm not going to
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to pay well, and even.
I agree we're going to have to pay well. I don't think we have to give them everything.
I say we shouldn't offer.
I'd say
anything.
start at 25 and
Let
see
them
what
ask
we get.
for what they want. You know.
It's true.
okay,
like-
and play it off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well then, let me get like a cap of where we're kind of just like fuck off. We'll find somebody else.
We have 850 platinum on the party bag.
I mean, I have 300 on myself.
I don't know.
I have more on myself too.
Let's say 200 platinum is the tops.
I mean, it's only 2,000
Which is-
gold.
Which is still a lot.
It's
They
it's-
charged us 40
it's
gold
40
a head.
It's not even a fifth of the cost for one crystal on the ship.
Yeah, but No crystals broke yet.
Yeah, but you
That's
don't
not
pay,
true.
you don't
Crystal
pay
has
for your
broke.
ship
No,
every time
no
you take
crystals broke?
something.
not okay. The one that fractured off, it was not completely broken.
Okay.
They were able to repair that. It's the only way. It's why you guys flew Jank. But it did cost a lot of money. It wasn't lost, I should say. A new crystal is 15 grand.
Okay. So then this was roughly probably then maybe. Still, it's only 2,000 of.
Right, they
15.
don't have to recoup the price of the ship for every journey they take.
I get that, but what I'm saying is like 2,000 gold's not a whole lot for like.
Not to
what-
mention, he already right now
Well,
he has what are
It's a
those?
pretty good down payment.
How much
if-
are you? What are you thinking, Phil?
I don't know. Like I'm just really like
That's
to me,
a-
like 2K does not seem like a lot for the fact that we're about to ask them to all possibly go die to help us get this artifact.
It's 2K. I thought it was 2K plus. Start at 25% of any loot
Okay.
you find.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
no.
what I was thinking.
I wasn't
Like,
saying
if they-
one or the other. I was saying I thought that there was a dollar amount plus.
Man, this is what we're paying for the ride there.
Yeah.
When you're there, you can take what you want.
Get a
You know,
quarter
if you
of
want to
everything
go
we
pillage,
find.
go pillage.
Yeah.
That is on you, though. You know, like if you want to pirate this area with us, it's a dangerous.
The only
area.
caveat is we have, just based on the nature of our exploration, we have first dibs on any powerful magical items.
Okay. Well, like I said, like what Troker brought up is, I'm not necessarily going to give them like a hard offer first. I'm more of just going to gauge what their reaction is to what I bring up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're going to give you 2,000 platinum, like right now, to take us, to the boneyard.
200 platinum.
200 platinum. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't have 2,000 on us.
Okay, so you guys head in. You
Yeah.
join seats now.
Hold on. One more thing. Sorry. One thing that I am thinking of. Let's say we can't really reach an agreement. Are we worried at all that he's gonna be like, all right, now I'm gonna go tell the evil elementals that you're coming?
No.
No.
No, I don't
Why
think
would
so.
he do that?
He's just a basic ship
They're
captain.
us. They're pirates.
Oh.
No, I don't think so.
Hear ye, hear ye.
All right. Okay. Just double checking. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah, we're going in there.
Okay. You're sitting with the captain now. Sharing the first things. We have crew building. Says, so you have new interests then. I'll say this ride here was a little eventful and albeit rough, but that you are all not to blame for that, and you did help, of course. I'm interested to hear if you have a lucrative offer.
Indeed we do. Have you heard of the Hurricane Boneyard, Will?
Yes, we've been near the area several times. It's wrought with strong winds and storms. It's a little bit of a bitch to navigate, but we've been near it.
Well, we are heading to the Hurricane Boneyard.
Of course. So tell me why I'm stupid enough to take you to the Hurricane Boneyard.
Well, there are a lot of powerful artifacts there. Items, gold.
There's a lot of shipwrecks there, abandoned people, and often killed.
Understood. We are
It's okay.
Willing
Just get your
to-
ship possessed by a demon.
we are willing to put forth 200 platinum right now towards the journey to cover our fees or whatever, travel fees, and we are, of course, are going to do whatever we can to protect you guys and the ship, as you will be our transportation
200, and I take you to the Hurricane Boneyard.
and back when we finish our business.
And what am I supposed to do while you're doing your business?
Well, you are open to join us as we search these artifacts, and you guys can, keep the loot that you claim.
So I take my ship with you all aboard.
Mhm.
We fly to the Hurricane Boneyard.
Mhm.
We find whatever artifact or thing you're looking for, which we'll get to what that might be next.
Okay.
And then you're telling me anything we find and stuff we can go about looting and have.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be dangerous, but
That's what I know, and that's what I'm saying. He says this is well more than a 200 platinum journey. I could take you to the edge of the Hurricane Boneyard, dump you off, and leave you. That's a 200 platinum journey there, okay? That says I'm entering into the territory of an evil air elemental prince with my ship and my crew's lives, which some were already lost again. I'm thankful for, and we are even for where we are. So this deal struck has nothing to do with the previous notion. Getting there alone is what I'm saying. The ride to and from would cover the 200 platinum. To have me dock anywhere in or near or drive through, we need more specifics than that.
Okay. Huh. Well, I'll
And
tell
then
you.
again, we're achieving an artifact, you say?
Yes,
so
there's a
naturally
dungeon.
that's going to be wrought with its own dangers.
Yes.
Which again, not opposed to. Just need the price.
I'll explain the dungeon that the Great Leaf explained to us, and be like, "This is the exact spot we need to go, and what we need to find is in here."
And you're telling me that the person that is guarding this is an extremely powerful person who we are supposed to either kill or steal from. I mean,
I
I
mean,
might be able to help you with this.
yeah, I am not. I don't want to put any of this on your heads. Like, we will do the work and we will take the claim as the Storm Slayers, but this is.
You guys think you're
I guess you could
capable
say
of
this
getting
is
in there on
a,
your own and doing this?
I guess you could say this is a mission given to us by the Great Caliph.
I understand, but you do think you without. So, how about this? If you don't think you need mine, Irva's, or Cedric's help, then 200 platinum. We get there, and we split the booty that's uncovered underneath there. I want none of my men going inside or dealing with this person. Down the middle, 50-50. We'll stay on the boat. We'll pick you up. We'll take you back. Anything you guys find in there, and we'll be checking. Don't think we don't see the bag of holdings on you. Don't think we don't have our own methods. We are pirates. We've treasure hunt our whole
What does this guy
life.
turn into a dick?
They're
He
pirates.
kind of
Let's
was.
just, he wasn't before. Let's go. With somebody
He's been
else.
entirely in the middle.
It's only 40 gold.
I don't like his attitude.
For a
Let's find
ride.
somebody else.
And
Maybe to try and mug you, but it didn't turn out that way.
so, to clarify, and I'm going to repeat this so our group can
So
kind of
much
think about
money.
it. We pay you 200 platinum now.
Yes.
You get us to the dungeon at the Boneyard. Then we will venture off ourselves to this dungeon, get the artifact we need, make it back to the ship, and you will get us back here to the Citadel's Ice and Steel.
Absolutely.
Why here?
And anything
Oh, yeah,
else we
yeah,
encounter to and from, but hopefully these sails are much nicer.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And I'm sorry, what was the split you said? 50-50 is what it was for.
Oops. Kevin, you grab that for me in a sec.
40-60 just based on his attitude.
Uh,
I think his attitude's pretty good, all things considered. You guys just blew up his ship. You didn't
Alright.
blow up. A journey
It's his
for you
job.
guys.
I'm sorry. He is a pirate. His job is to cart people around. He chose to do that.
pirate.
for
Job
us.
is to pirate.
His job is to pirate.
Right,
not to
right.
cart
No,
people
okay, that's
around.
fine. He's the one that chose to take us on the thing. I refused to accept responsibility for what happened to his ship. He asked us if we
And
wanted to
in
fight
his
or
head,
run.
the journey was paid for by you guys and asked for you guys. The only reason he didn't leave you abandoned somewhere was because you guys in turn helped him out a lot. So he's very middle. He's very neutral.
It's like a taxi driver being mad at the person who gave me a ride to because they got a crash on the way to where they're dropping them off.
I'm not following.
It's a little different than that.
It's the exact same.
Because people died.
Oh, whatever. I mean,
But he's not. The thing is, he's not a taxi driver. You
he
guys
chose to be a taxi driver
You
for us.
approached him and said, "Will you be my taxi driver?"
And he said, yes, I will be your taxi
For
driver.
money.
I will be. Every taxi driver gets paid.
Yeah.
He chose to give us a ride. I refused to accept any more responsibility for what happened to his ship.
Well,
Not to mention, he's the one that said, should we stay or should we go? Well, you're the fucking captain. You decide what's better for you and your
Stay or
ship.
go where?
Fight those pirates or run from them. The other ones.
He said all in or all out. Wouldn't it make?
Yeah, why the fuck is he asking? He's the expert.
Because they didn't know how strong you guys were.
I don't like it.
we're the strongest.
So then you don't have to travel with them. You guys could find someone else.
It's a fact. We're the Storm Slayers. We're the strongest there ever was.
But
Like,
how
it's
about,
always fine.
And never will be.
well, how
He still
how,
holds you guys responsible for the ship.
That's bullshit.
how long? How long
Bullshit.
till your ship's ready?
He said it'd be ready in 2 days. He says they're staying here tonight.
And the taxi
following
driver
night
analogy
they're
is
staying
100%
at the
accurate,
thing,
by the way.
and then that's it.
All right.
We will discuss your terms. Are these hard terms? Are you willing to negotiate any further?
So, well, the journey's bound to change on its way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll
Why-
figure something out. But
There's
once
no
you're
one
on the
using
ship, you're aboard our
What's
ship
that?
again.
Huh?
Again, I'm not sure how you guys feel navigating the plane of air. And now that you are here, I don't know what your luck is leaving here without finding another pirate captain to take you somewhere.
I'm switching. I'm using that as soon as we get back to the school. Fucking.
What is it?
Because it requires a 2-minute. I'm
Yeah, because I can get rid of my stupid cloak that's 1 AC and use these for 3.
Oh, okay, but that's different.
The
I'm
fact
like,
that you said you had that on still blew my mind.
Let me see.
I either give up my book of awesome spells,
Let me see.
my staff of healing the team.
You're the only person
Or
that
my
still has a
field job.
super like weird, like old, like out of date item on. I was like, what are you doing with that? You
My
have so
plans-
many other magic items.
Like that would be really
we
good
never
for me.
looked
but
at them in such
I got this
detail.
other song now, and that'll be good.
And now
I'm gonna have a whole new kit
you'll
next
know
week.
everything. Yeah, I know.
And not to mention, yeah, I'm typing every item down, so I'll have some
All of a
loose
sudden-
definition of it in my
all of a
head.
sudden-
for
So will he
reading
get
it.
the 1d4 in his
Terraform.
That's
attacks?
unarmed? Yeah,
Unarmed attacks.
that's technically an unarmed thing if I'm using a bear claw.
Yeah.
Nice.
Reads of force armor ring. Oh, what the?
You know?
Okay.
You're
We've got 2 days until the ship is ready.
You gonna run back?
I'm fucking going to the school and grab.
planar travel.
Because you can do the Citadel of Ice and Steel, but you do know it's a heavily militarized city, so plane shifting into it
Oh, probably
might
a bad idea.
not be the best idea.
Well, no, he can play.
What about
shift
the
to
lower
school.
part?
Oh, we're playing shift
Getting back.
Why don't you just tell the Caliph?
You
that
can
need-
specify, but
this is-
plane just specifically says like you might. If you say an area, you might. It's very loose into where in that area
You might just end up in the wind.
You'll be end up in the hall of welcome.
You
just
end up right in
immediately
front
get
of
murdered.
the Elder
Like-
Tempest. Like you just in the Elder
Yeah,
Tempest.
that's right. I'm sorry. Hold
Oh,
on.
you're still reading it.
Um,
I'll
let
say.
us discuss your terms and then we'll get back
Yeah,
to it.
I'll
absolutely.
say, yeah, you know.
That'll hit bear for
I'll-
or
Yeah, absolutely.
Say have another round on us.
Some items when I read them, I have one of you in mind about it, but then I expect you guys to sort that out, and obviously sometimes that doesn't work that way.
Oh, did you have me in mind for that originally?
Yeah, with the unarmed strikes. Because the issue is a lot of times.
How long
unarmed
have we
strikes-
had these? Oh, I don't even
Santa
want to
time.
know. Oh, okay, that's not that long.
What, those
Yeah.
rings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you used them though. at one point.
Because it has to be. Well,
Mm.
it wouldn't be bad. I take the AC, but I'm not unarmed, so I wouldn't be able to. I think that was your idea to
More
use them.
damage doesn't have anything to it.
I
It probably was
you
my
had the
idea to
trade-off
use
between
them, and we
using,
just
like, your
Lost
your extra
track of
shields
them
and-
in the 45 or so of these
You
here.
guys hit a fucking
I think.
layer horde.
Yeah, no. I would actually. You know what? Those would be better.
It's too late. Call dibs.
No. I'm not, I don't know. They are better for you because you can utilize every aspect of them.
Ah, yes.
But no, hindsight, a regular non-magical +1 plate armor.
You just do it
And
for the
those.
non-stealth thing because you
Huh?
you hate the stealth thing.
No, I have not
Stealth
found.
just
I
comes
haven't
up
found
so
any
much.
good armor otherwise.
Well, you've got some good armor. It just happens to be cursed.
Yeah.
So when we leave this meeting with this guy, I'm gonna go investigate, see if I can find another ship.
Okay. Make an investigation check. What are you guys doing as you guys split away from?
I'll,
Anybody wanna
I'll say. I mean, we could
help me
probably.
out with like inspiration? Throwing it out there.
I'll
Guidance.
I'll inspire Trogo as
D4.
well.
You get a D4 and a D12.
I'll give you a pat on the back.
Advantage.
You're doing good, kid.
What is he trying to do? What are you trying to do?
He's going to look for another ship.
Ah, gotcha.
35.
Okay, I'll get to that as it's going to take a little bit. As you go flying around looking for other ships, what are you three of you doing?
I mean, 200 up front. Technically, it's all we have to pay up front. we get to go do this stuff. I mean, to be fair, worst comes to worst, I could attempt to teleport us back to the Citadel of Ice and Steel.
Yeah. Oh well, if they like ditch us or something.
If they ditch us, or if we just run into too much trouble, you know, maybe I could send a message or something to
Like, get out of here. We're getting out
Yeah.
ourselves.
like get the fuck out. We had to ditch.
Yeah, they don't get any of this until we are returned back after the
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. And let's say we don't really find treasure, we just find the one fucking artifact, and we get on board and they're trying to shake us down. Then I can also just teleport us then, or you know, we could figure something out.
Just
Yeah.
Kill him then and take the
You
shit.
could just turn us all into birds and we can just fly.
I can do that. You know, I feel like you guys have said that before too, like jokingly, like in the past year, like, oh, you could turn us all into this. Well, now I can. That is the thing.
That's a crazy
Is it
spell.
prepared?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just waiting for it.
How do you not? What level is that?
It's the
That's
8th
eight.
level.
That's
And how many
eighth
8
level.
level spells do you have? One?
So I probably won't realistically keep that in there, but you know, while we were dicking around in the Great Cleats, I could have just turned us all. Into...
What are the rules so far as us? So you turn me into a bear. I'm a bear until I choose not to be.
He as an action can change whatever shapes.
But can,
He,
so
he chooses and changes.
and is
with
it
an
willing
action.
targets?
It is willing
Willing
targets.
targets.
And is it
as
it
many
something-
targets I could fit in a 30-foot radius.
Is it something I can cancel, or is it something that, like,
I would assume.
I assume you can cancel it when you're no longer willing, but then it drops and that's it.
Yeah, you
you
don't
can't
get
go
a
back,
recast,
right?
No.
Yeah,
Right, and same thing, if you drop to 0, it falls off you.
So yeah, it works like wild shape in that way.
But that's a huge, like,
I can't turn you guys into elementals.
hey, we're all pretty fucked up. Turn us all into Tyrannosaurus Rexes.
Oh, that's a CR like 8.
CR4
What if we
is
form?
the
What
limit.
if we're like Voltron? CR4,
Yeah.
CR4.
I call the head.
All the
We
different-
got
Size
Randall.
16.
We'll gather up some other pets. I got that bag of tricks. Throw that pet out.
I'm sorry, I
Voltron.
got a bag of tricks. Or no, did I give it to you?
I
Is that what it
have
was?
no idea.
Okay, that's what it was.
I forgot I had it, and I just found it tonight.
All right, so what's the plan? All right, well, I'll say this. Firstly, Trogo, as you go looking, and you fly, and we'll say over the course of the next couple hours, you spend doing this to get around the whole thing. The only ships that are currently docked are military. Your ship is the only ship currently on the island that is that is non-military.
Do you want to ask a military shit? Sorry, I'm not. No. We could.
Are you doing anything else while you're looking?
On our little end here, we could.
Varys just seems really like into his notebooks or whatever he's doing.
No. Oh yeah, no, they are now. Never mind.
The gnomes.
Yeah, they're gone. The time I forgot how long you guys were in there. They came and went. No
we could
boldness.
probably just go with these guys. I mean,
Yeah,
to them to get us there.
As you guys are sitting, we're talking, and Will, and you guys have kind of come to a different table now. Let him sit with his people. You're sitting with yours, still in the tavern. You watch as Tu Jin kind of throw open the door and approach Will's table, listening in. They say, "Are you Captain Will of the Tanisher's Fate?" He looks up at them. "I am." He says, "Your presence is being requested by the captain. There's an error in your manifest." He says, "You've reported 12 passengers aboard. We have witnessed accounts of 14 leaving your vessel.
Uh-oh.
You are to be held accountable for this. Please come with us." He kind of like puts his head down for a second and just kind of like doesn't really seem to do anything in a threatening nature. He stands up. The two captain by you hear them walk out. And you guys watch. Are you guys do anything as he's being escorted out right now by Tu Jin?
Does it look like he realizes who it is?
You see his eyes kind of go wide, but he doesn't say anything. He just stands up from the table and walks out.
I'll say.
You make an insight check, I guess, if you're looking to see anything else.
I'll kind of.
Well, they're
Read
still
into it.
Up to like. Is there a problem, Will?
He kind of just like you
25.
You just see him like turn his head slightly, but he's currently being escorted out by Tu Jin right
25.
You gather that there's a very sense of calm about him. It's hard for you to tell immediately if he recognizes who it could have been, but his mind definitely registers that it's possible.
Remember, we did have 2 people that didn't.
Who we're talking about.
Were we on the manifest? How were we on there?
Because,
You
yeah,
boarded
we were
his
on the
ship.
manifest.
Anyone that was
Pirates.
registered aboard of his ship, every ship has a manifest of who's aboard when you go to and from ports.
I'll kind of
As
before
soon
they
as you
leave.
the port, you
For
mark.
passport control thing, it's not passport, but even like in old days too, it's like just to maintain population and whether or not people are coming to squat and stuff like that. It's like their way of seeing how many people, because you'll pay per head. If you're bringing 100 people into a city, well, that's going to create, some issues, or could create issues for the city, so they count and track. And that's why they count manifest.
I'll kind of, to one of the guards, I'll be like, excuse me, this happens to be our transportation leaving in a couple of days.
So you're following them onto the street then? Because at this
Yeah.
point, they are now out in front of the street.
Yeah.
Okay. As you go to turn one of the guards, they don't. What are you saying now?
I'm saying, excuse me, I would like to.
They don't stop walking. They are continuing to escort them
Then
unless you're getting in their
I'll just
way.
kind of follow along.
Okay. So
Yeah.
he says, "Well, you can pick him up when he's out of the court."
Is there a viewing? Could I view the court or?
He just kind of like over his shoulder. He just says, "Bug off. Find him if he gets released."
Okay.
It's like trying to stop. For real.
Well,
They're arresting this man right now.
gotcha.
You hear Will's voice kind of from behind. He says, "That should be fine. Be all right."
Okay.
Continues to be escorted.
Inside check.
I will head to.
You're not there.
the
Unfortunately,
ship.
this is why you are out doing your look right now.
I will head to the ship. I'll say in the saying so, guys. I'm gonna head to the ship and see if I can talk to what's her face up there.
Irvy.
What are you two doing?
Urtha.
You guys watch Will get escorted out.
At some point,
He said he's going back to the ship. I guess we'd go back to the ship with him. I'll go back to the ship with him.
I'm gonna look to see. I'm gonna go talk to one of the.
So,
He's been around.
He was drinking my soda.
One of the
Really?
Sorry.
people at one of the military ships to see if I don't know if we could rent a ship or if they're willing to take passengers on request or what the case is.
the current ones are docked for war.
Every single one
We're going to war.
with who?
The
They don't have any
evil
rental
prince of
boats
gas.
out that captainless boats or whatever.
As you guys learned from inside of the welcome hall, this place is on a pretty heavy lockdown for other things. You had very visible damage to your ship, which got you access to the port, and for a very limited time. And then he had a very good mixture of. He just had a good persuasion roll to look for someone else to help repair it, and even then, it was a very time constraint and location based. He had a very different time space than you guys did.
All right.
But I'll say, as you guys are flying back, for the sake of this, you're flying back because you guys are arriving at the ship. You guys are going up towards Irva, you said?
And before we, I guess I'll go back to get these guys before I head back to the ship, because I followed.
You
Will
said
on.
over the stone.
What?
You said over the stone, so they're with you.
Okay. Before we leave the bar, then I'll just go back into any of the crew that's there. Say if our friend Trogo returns, just tell him we ran off to the ship.
Say it. That's fine, but we're not sticking around here either. If I know the captain, we'll need to make a pretty swift exit here in another day or so.
Okay.
They begin to gather their stuff. You see them go over to another table with two more individuals who weren't originally docked with you, and then they go to a third table with another 3 individuals. So they picked up 5 additional crew from the 5 that they originally
I guess
had.
if they're all taken off, is the barkeep then?
Mhm.
The barkeep's here. I'll say, hey, barkeep, there could be a fourth of our group that, I'll describe Trogo a little bit on a broom. Or,
Say, if I see him, I'll send him your way, but keeping my nose out of this.
Understood. I tossed him a couple silver.
He says, I'll mention it. You guys make your way over to the where the ship is currently docked. You guys are met by a guard at the front before you could go the spiral to where the boat is docked. They say, ship's currently in for repairs. If you're not without captain's orders, no one's allowed to board.
You will let us.
Those are not the droids.
I'll say, sorry, if I could just go, I just wanted to talk to our navigator real quick, and then I would be on my way.
I need to see writ of the ship and access from the captain, otherwise no one is allowed on board. Unfortunately, this is safety for the ship and for anyone else. You must understand. You.
Okay. Gotcha. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, your captain is currently being detained. Yes,
Yes.
we know. So, please stay in the area. After the questioning is done, we will find you. Should we need anything else?
Okay.
Well, while we're walking away, but we should try to prevent a fast exit, because that doesn't sound good, and we need to come back here.
When we come back, we'll have killed or have an artifact for the guy. So if they stop us there, it'll probably piss him off.
He sounds like a guy who holds a grudge, though. He's talking about a war that the battle is next battle sometime in the next decade. I don't know.
He has been around since Elder time. He's just old. When people are that old, they consider moves in much more years and grandiose schemes. So.
Sorry, we're just mere mortals over here.
So far, wait till you're 20th level.
Oh yeah, wait a minute.
And
Yeah,
you stop
that's right.
aging.
I do stop aging.
I want to stop aging.
I think that's actually 18th
Alright.
level.
Oh, is it 18? So what are you guys doing anything else are you guys posting up near the ship? Actually currently there's no inns directly around you. Where are you going?
There's no shops, you said, right?
No.
Not a lot to do around here. We go try to no, we're not gonna be able to talk to.
Get back into the party room.
Yeah, try to hey, let go of our friend. He'll probably be that's beneath me. I don't know.
I guess I'll ask a guard. I don't know if we're still at the ship or if we left, but where would the court or whatever be held for Captain?
He says all court is held on the Lord's Terrace. If it's in the will of an outsider, if an outsider is at trial, like in the case of your captain, the process will be swift. Shouldn't be more than a day.
You say swift. What exactly is the outcome of that?
Depends if he's found guilty of trying to harbor people in that are that do not belong.
Punishable by.
No, it depends. Depends who they are, if we find them, and what he has to say. I'm no judge,
Perhaps.
but I've heard people trying to sneak him in. Sure, it's led to death if that's what you're concerned with.
That is what I'm concerned with. But
Public flogging.
perhaps we could help since we are, we don't believe we'll intentionally, try to do anything wrong here. So, do you happen to know who the extra two people are that you're looking for?
He says, no, they were seen apparating in the middle of town. It was via sensor magic that we were able to track the apparition from the hull of this ship into another house, and he points off kind of a couple hundred feet away.
Did he say in the hull of the ship?
From the hull of the ship to there.
They fucking hid in the hull?
Yeah.
Mm.
They apparated, you said?
Yeah. He somehow teleported from the inside hull of the ship into a building nearby, and then exited.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll go investigate it ourselves.
Okay. Well, then we'll pick that up next time.
Okay.
Then I might headband of intelligence might become a mainstay if I could find a decent plate.
Of what?
My armor +1.
Oh, you mean just
I can't believe those rings.
Well, what do you mean? Because most armors are going to be attuned.
What is wrong with me?
+2's not attuned. Shouldn't be.
I feel like we should go find actually the first mate or something. and be like, hey, were you guys actually smuggling people? Like, or
No, well,
I mean, just
yeah,
a +2
that's
plate
probably a
armor.
good idea.
or do you think
some
that,
confirmation.
+1 is the only
I thought
thing you'll
+3
find
was
as-
where
or do you
cutoff
think these
was.
perhaps were people from
Yeah.
that pirate ship we blew up?
Now I feel stupid for not taking a better look around the ship. I guess I didn't realize
It
there was
wasn't a
like,
great roll, and they were invisible, but they visibility spell.
Wait, I didn't see people who were invisible. Did I roll investigation?
No, it was Victor. You checked the hull of the ship.
yeah, well, you came up by the hull.
No,
I
specifically
looked.
only one of you actually went down, and then remember because they're like, tell the captain we showed you this place.
Yeah.
That's where they were.
I figured there was some sort of stowaway situation since
Yeah.
it got brought up at all.